So this princess, Li Wuyo, somehow talked the old General Li Quniong into surrendering. I honestly didn't think she could pull it off. The guy was ready to die for honor and all that dramatic stuff. But she waltzed in there wearing bunny ears. Yes, actual bunny ears. And convinced him that surrendering was actually a genius long-term play. Her pitch? Basically, hey Gramps, stop being stubborn. Lu Yuan already wrecked your 30,000-man army. You want him to come knock on the capital's door next? Just pretend to surrender. Help me seduce him. I'll pop out a baby. And boom, we own Northern Liang from the inside. Grandpa went from never to, well, when you put it that way, real fast. Classic. Then she came back to me all proud of herself and just told me the whole plan. To my face. This woman literally confessed her entire scheme of using me like a breeding horse to take over my kingdom. Bold. Stupid bold. But I respect it. She hit me with this whole speech about how love and self-interest are the same thing. Parents love you unconditionally until you don't take care of them. Your brothers are great until you ask to borrow money. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. I hate when scheming women make good points. For a second, I almost fell for it. Then I looked over at Red Lady standing there with her big sword, and something clicked in my brain. I spent 5 years playing it safe, swallowing my pride, calculating every move. Why would I start letting some bunny-eared princess do the calculating for me? The moment I start playing her game, I've already lost. So I told her straight up, nice try? You're not getting wife status. Not even concubine. Best I can offer is bed-warming maid. Take it or leave it. She took it. Without even blinking. This woman accepted a demotion from future queen to human blanket in 2 seconds flat. That's either the most dedicated long-term strategist I've ever met, or she's actually into me. Either way, terrifying. Are you scared of me? She asked, doing this little smile thing while her stupid bunny ears wobbled. My heart did a thing. I'm not proud of it. Scared? Me? I've fought armies. I've built a kingdom from nothing. I'm not afraid of some princess with floppy ears and red lipstick. Okay, maybe a little. So while I was busy conquering cities and dealing with bunny-ear princesses, my family was on their way to visit me. My mom, my little brother Lu Yong, and my sister Lu Lingji, rolling up in a carriage through a disaster zone like the world's worst road trip. My sister was freaking out about all the dead bodies on the roadside. Welcome to life outside Northern Liang, sis. It's not great. Meanwhile, my brother was yelling about how the government is useless. Kid's got spirit, I'll give him that. He's not wrong either. Liu Su, my girl, was hyping up Northern Liang the whole trip like she was selling timeshares. Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, it's paradise. Oh, you'll love it. My family wasn't buying it. Can't blame them. Last they heard, I was running some dusty little village in the middle of nowhere. Dad literally described it as a broken-down, abandoned dump. Then they hit the border, and Zhang Wei, my boy, the general of Northern Liang Pass, personally ran out to greet my mom. Called her Auntie, nearly tripped over himself bowing. My mom was so confused. She's thinking, my son is a small-town county magistrate. Why is a military general kissing my feet? Then Zhang Wei casually dropped the bomb. Oh yeah, your son has 1 million people now. Also, he just conquered an entire foreign fortress. No big deal. My brother's brain literally broke. 1 million? The capital doesn't even have that many. You're messing with me, right? Liu Su, he's joking, right? Liu Su just smiled. You guys never asked. Never asked. This woman traveled with them for weeks and just never mentioned that their brother turned into a warlord. That's cold. That's hilarious. I'm giving her a raise. They saw the cement roads. Blown away. They saw the refugees walking in orderly lines. Confused. My sister wanted to know why we don't just send wagons to pick everyone up. Liu Su explained my whole philosophy. People don't appreciate free stuff. Make them walk so they value what they get. My brother understood immediately. Give a man too much rice and he'll hate you for it. Smart kid. Then they saw the city. I wish I could have seen their faces. The walls of Northern Liang are massive. I built those bad boys to impress, and boy did they deliver. My sister was stuttering. My brother's heart was trembling. His words, not mine. My mom grabbed my sister's hand, so tight I'm surprised she didn't break it. This is the broken-down little town Dad told us about. This is bigger than the capital. Yeah, your big brother's been busy. I got word they arrived at the gate, so I did what any dramatic, self-respecting warlord would do. I rode out at full speed with my entire squad of commanders behind me. Refugees dropped to their knees. Crowds parted. Maximum entrance energy. I jumped off the horse, ran to the carriage, and dropped to my knees right there in front of everyone. Your unfilial son Lu Yuan kowtows to his mother. Behind me, every single one of my commanders hit the ground too. We greet the old madam. Mom took one look at me and just started bawling. My baby, I missed you so much. 5 years. 5 years since I've seen her. I conquered cities, built an empire, fought wars, survived assassinations, and tamed a princess in bunny ears. But nothing hits harder than your mom crying because she missed you. I'm not crying. It's the desert wind. Shut up. The reunion was beautiful. Mom hugged me, cried her eyes out. Little brother Lu Yong grabbed onto me crying. Little sister Lingji turned into a whole waterfall. I'm standing there with red eyes trying to be tough. But come on. 5 years without seeing your family? Even warlords have feelings. I picked up Lu Yong like he was still a little kid. Pinched Lingji's cheeks. Then like a magician, I pulled out her favorite candy from nowhere. She cried even harder. Great. Nailed it. So I carried my sister on my back, held Mom's hand with one arm, grabbed my brother with the other, and walked into the city like a family commercial. My people, my commanders, my entire empire, none of it mattered right then. Just us. They asked me about everything. How I've been, what happened these 5 years. I answered it all. Then Mom brought up Dad. The old stubborn mule insisted on staying with the Emperor instead of coming to safety. I already knew from Liusu's letters. Dad's got his principles. Annoying principles, but I respect them. He's protected, so he'll be fine. Probably. What's actually eating me alive is Zhao Jinjia. My woman, well, sort of my woman, took our daughter and vanished into the capital like a ghost. I had people search every government official's family records. Nothing. She's hiding from me on purpose. If I'd known she was going to pull this disappearing act, I would have never let her leave with the baby. The capital isn't huge, but when a woman doesn't want to be found. Good luck, buddy. Then Mom dropped the question. I heard you got married. Oh no? I tried to explain. Well, it's not exactly marriage. It's complicated. See what happened was, I told her the truth. About Zhao Jinjia. About how I got her pregnant. About how she came to find me with our daughter. About how she left, and I didn't stop her. Mom slapped me upside the head. You got the girl pregnant. She traveled thousands of miles with your baby to find you. And you just let her walk away? Into this mess of a world? Then my little brother, this kid who was sobbing on my chest 2 minutes ago, straightened up and said, Big brother, this is not the conduct of an honorable man, my own brother. Lecturing me. He's like 15. Then Lingji piled on. Big brother, I can't defend you on this one. If anything happens to my sister-in-law and niece, you'll never forgive yourself. 3 against 1. My entire family just tag-teamed me, and I couldn't say a single word back because they were right. Mom went nuclear. If anything happens to my granddaughter, don't bother calling me your mother anymore. I just stood there with my head down like a scolded puppy. The man who conquered the Great Xia Pass. The guy who commands 1 million people. Getting absolutely demolished by his mom. Then she softened up a bit and said something that actually hit deep. She asked me to imagine what Zhao Jinjia went through. Unmarried mother, raising a kid alone for 5 years. All the gossip and shame she endured. And Mom was right. 5 years of suffering, and I couldn't even make her stay. I'll find them, I promised. As fast as I can. You will hold your granddaughter. Mom calmed down. She knows I'm not a deadbeat. She just needed me to understand. Anyway, we got home, and that's when the real circus started. Every woman in my household turned into a contestant on who can impress mother-in-law first. Luo being whipped out a handmade outfit. Old madam, I sewed this myself. Please accept it, Red Lady. The woman who carries a giant sword everywhere was blushing while handing over a full set of gold jewelry. These are the finest pure gold. Liu Su pulled out her favorite perfume. Her personal collection. This is a limited edition, perfect for you. Xia Yuan offered a massage. Xia Hongmei stuttered through offering homemade tea. My commanders were watching these terrifying warrior women act like shy brides meeting their mother-in-law for the first time, and their jaws were on the floor. Meanwhile, Xia Ning and Li Wuyo, who aren't even ranked high enough to sit at the table, watched this whole competition from the sidelines with pure panic in their eyes. They thought they had it tough. The main roster is stacked. Mom accepted everything with a smile. A very suspicious smile. She was looking at me like, which one of these women is my daughter-in-law? And I could feel the temperature dropping. I just grinned. They're all being kind, Mom. Just accept the gifts. Wrong answer. After dinner, everyone left. Mom called me over. I walked up, totally clueless. You absolute disgrace. Kneel. And that's how the ruler of Northern Liang ended up on his knees for the second time that day. First time was voluntary. This time, not so much. So Mom had me on my knees. Again. She's staring me down like I robbed a temple. Tell me the truth. All those women at dinner, are they all involved with you? Yes. But it's just a work relationship. Boss and employees. Lu Yun. Mom wasn't having it. She said those women were looking at me like, and I'm translating here, like a turtle staring at a green bean, which apparently means, like they want to eat you alive, and honestly, fair observation. I tried to defend myself. Mom, if I was actually messing around with all of them, I'd have a dozen kids by now. You think I've been alone for 5 years for fun? She paused. Realized she might have jumped to conclusions. Did she apologize? Of course not. She just went, humph. Why are you raising your voice at me? Classic mom move. Wrong but never admitting it. I was wrong, Mom. She softened up eventually and basically said, look, your father and I aren't old-fashioned. You're old enough to find women. But, first, you bring back my daughter-in-law and granddaughter. If your wife says you can take concubines, I won't object. Great. So my permission to date comes from a woman who's actively hiding from me somewhere in the capital. Wonderful system, Mom. Real helpful. Next day, I took everyone on a tour of Northern Liang. 12 districts, almost 1 million people, buildings 5 to 7 stories tall. Yeah, I built apartment blocks. Not because I love concrete jungles, but because fancy traditional architecture is expensive and slow. My entire design philosophy is one word, practical. 2 words if you count, and cheap. My brother was losing his mind. You built this in 5 years? This is more beautiful than the capital. This is impossible. Then he got all emotional. Big brother, these 5 years must have been so hard for you. And just like that, boom, right in the chest. That's what family does. Everyone else sees the glory. Family sees the scars. Lingji grabbed my arm and said she wished they'd come sooner to help me. Mom started crying again. I spent 20 minutes calming everyone down. We're a very moist family. Lots of tears. After the waterworks, we went shopping. I bought them everything. Snacks, local specialties, you name it. Not because we don't have this stuff at home. I just wanted to walk around with my family like a normal person for once. No conquering. No scheming. Just vibes. Then we hit up the Pear Garden, my entertainment venue. The #1 singer, Morone Wanqing, was performing, and the crowd was mesmerized. Mom was loving it. She smiled and said, I have to say, even the brothels here are different, Mom. It's not a brothel. These singers are respectable women. They perform, they don't sell anything else, Mom. Oh, I am a man of refined taste. Thank you very much. After the show, my brother was still humming the song. That was beautiful. Did you write it, big brother? More or less. Then he asked about the songwriters, and I explained how Northern Liang has a whole music industry. Writers get paid, songs get recorded, sold everywhere. A real creative economy. And then this kid said, don't the scholars think that's beneath them? I stopped smiling. So writing poems to make some rich noble laugh at a dinner party, that's dignified. But writing songs that bring joy to ordinary people, that's beneath them. My brother backpedaled so fast he nearly tripped. That's not what I meant. Good. Because in Northern Liang, students don't think being educated makes them special. They know reading is for understanding the world and helping weaker people. Using your knowledge to earn a living and entertain people isn't shameful. Mom backed me up immediately. Your brother's right. I haven't seen your studies amount to much, but you've sure picked up plenty of bad attitudes. Your father's gone, so whatever your big brother says, you listen. Poor kid looked like he swallowed a lemon. But I wasn't being harsh for fun. This boy is family. I need him. I've got Taishan County, the Great Xia Pass. All these places need management. And who's more reliable than blood? I'm not going to let him turn into some pretentious bookworm who writes sad poetry and looks down on regular people. So I laid out the plan. 2 choices for both of them. Either stay in Northern Liang, study hard, take the spring exams next year, and earn a government position through merit. Or follow me around, and I train them personally. Which would be way harder. Lingji didn't even blink. Spring exams. I want to study. In northern Liang, women can study, do business, enter politics, practice medicine, whatever they want. Her eyes literally turned into stars. Big brother, your northern Liang is too amazing. I patted her head. Good kid. Smart choice. Then I looked at Lu Yong. He was quiet. Head down. I could see the gears turning. He worships me, always has. But he's also a teenage boy with pride. He doesn't want people to respect him just because he's Lu Yuan's little brother. He wants to earn it himself. I respect that. Stupid, but respectable. Well, what do you choose? So my brother was about to tell me his big life plan when someone knocked on the door. It was Murong Wanqing, the #1 singer in northern Liang. Former princess of a tiny kingdom that got wiped off the map. I saved her from barbarians, brought her to northern Liang, and she's been obsessed with me ever since. I wasn't going to let her in. Family dinner, not the time. But then I caught my little brother sneaking a look at the door with the most obvious, please open it, eyes I've ever seen. Oh ho ho, little man's got a crush. Door, opened. In walks Murong Wanqing looking like a painting came to life. No makeup needed. Eyes like they've got stars trapped in them. Body that makes men forget how to swallow. My brother was trying so hard not to stare. She spotted my family immediately and turned on the charm like a switch. Oh, this must be the old madam. Then she complimented everyone. Mom's grace, Lingji's beauty, Lu Yong's handsome face. Classic suck-up protocol. She's good at it. Mom glared at me. Again. Because Murong Wanqing said her singing was so good because I trained her well. Wrong word choice. Woman. Mom's blood pressure went up another 10 points. I hid behind my teacup like a coward. I shooed her away before she could do more damage. Yeah, great. I'll send you new songs later, bye. She left looking all sad and pouty, which apparently is her permanent state around me. She keeps hoping I'll give her some kind of commitment, and I keep giving her. Song lyrics. Last time I visited her I apparently teased her so bad she had romantic dreams for several nights straight. I'm not proud of that. Okay, maybe a little. After she left, silence. Mom's eyes were drilling holes in my skull. I needed a distraction fast, so I turned to my brother. You were staring pretty hard there. She's gone now. Safe to look. His face went tomato red. Murong Wanqing is like a lotus flower. One can only admire her from a distance. Never. You're full of it. I cut him off. You're the worst kind. Saying, I could never. While your brain is screaming please. I hate fake modest people. He got defensive. I'm not fake. Yes, you are. You're like every scholar who claims they study for the nation and the people, when really they just want a nice title and a big house. I do study for the nation and the people. Whatever you can do, I can do too. Oh. Bold words from a teenager who just got caught drooling over a singer. Mom tried to scold him, but I stopped her. This was exactly what I wanted. I needed him fired up. Fine. Prove it. Taishan County needs to be built from scratch. I'm putting you in charge of construction oversight and logistics. Pull it off, and I'll never tell you what to do again. His jaw dropped. Build an entire county? I leaned in. When I came to northern Liang, I had less than 2,000 people. Walls were crumbling. Barbarians raiding every other week. I built everything you see from that. Taishan County already has over 100,000 workers, unlimited money, unlimited materials. The starting point is 10 times better than what I had. If you can't handle that, then sit down and listen to Big Brother. I won't lose. He was clenching his fists like an anime character. Mom knew exactly what I was doing. The kid has never suffered a single day in his life, and he just challenged a guy who built an empire from dirt. He needs to get humbled. Hard. Next morning, Lu Yong packed his bags. Didn't even say goodbye to me. Just nodded at Mom and left with my advisor Chow. Attitude and everything. Teenagers, man. Mom worried. He doesn't know anything. Won't he mess things up? Mom, I've got it handled. I've got people watching him. He'll struggle. He'll fail. He'll learn. That's the whole point. Then I took Lingji to the Northern Liang Academy to register. I explained the 6 majors: engineering, law, mathematics, business, agriculture, and medicine. Each one critical to Northern Liang's growth. Engineering is mostly heavy labor, so mostly guys. Law helps poor people fight for justice. Math and business keep the economy running. Agriculture feeds everyone. Medicine saves lives. Which one do you want? My sister didn't even hesitate. Agriculture. I blinked. I can't forge iron. No muscles. Law. My tongue isn't sharp enough. Math. My brain's too slow. Business, don't even start. Medicine is great, but it's not what's needed most. She paused, and her voice got quiet. On the road from the capital to here, I saw too many people who starved to death. So I want to learn farming. I want to make sure nobody ever goes hungry again. I just stood there for a second. This girl, my baby sister who I used to carry on my back and feed candy to. She saw the same dead bodies, the same suffering, and instead of being scared, she decided to fix it. My brother wants to prove he's tough. My sister wants to feed the world. I raised good siblings. Or mom did. Probably mom. I tried to talk Lingji out of agriculture. You know, farming means getting sunburned, covered in fertilizer, no pretty dresses, dirt under your nails every single day. She just smiled with those little tiger teeth of hers. None of that matters. What matters is helping you, big brother. Then she patted my shoulder. Patted it. Like SHE was the big sibling. Don't worry, from now on, your little sister's got your back. This girl is 15 and already trying to be my bodyguard. I flicked her nose and said fine. Then she dropped a bomb on me. Apparently last night, my tough guy brother Lu Yong, the same kid who was challenging me at dinner, was kneeling in front of mom, crying, saying how much it hurt him to think about everything I've been through alone. He told Lingji not to tell me. So she told me immediately. Sisters, man, that little punk, acting all tough and argumentative to my face, then sobbing to mom about how worried he is about me. I'm not emotional about it. I just have something in my eye. Both eyes. Shut up. Meanwhile, Lu Yong arrived at Taishan County and had absolutely no idea what to do. Everyone was polite to him because he's my brother, but nobody took him seriously. Chow the advisor basically said, just stand there and look pretty, young master. We'll handle everything. So what did the kid do? He took off his fancy coat and started carrying bricks. Carrying bricks. The scholar boy, with his soft reading hands. Chow freaked out. Young master, you're an educated man. You can't do manual labor. Who says educated men can't carry bricks? And stop calling me young master. My name is Lu Yong. I figured he'd last one day. Maybe two. Nope. 8 days straight. This maniac was on the construction site from dawn to dark, running around, learning from the workers, eating bread rolls while supervising barbarian laborers, getting blood blisters on his hands and shoulders. He bonded with the construction crews faster than some of my actual officers. Chow sent me a panicked report. Sir, your brother is literally bleeding and won't stop working. Please help. I just smiled. Leave him alone. I carried plenty of bricks myself back in the day. I'll admit it. I misjudged the kid. I thought he was all talk and poetry. Turns out there's actual iron under that bookworm exterior. If I polish him right, he could be something special. Now, while my family was settling in, the news of my victory reached the great Xia capital. And oh boy, did they lose their minds. The Xia emperor was pacing around his throne room like a caged animal. My uncle lost. 30,000 soldiers gone. The princess is still captured. Our fortress is broken. Somebody tell me what to do. Dead silence. Not a single minister opened their mouth. Their undefeatable god of war just got demolished. Nobody was about to volunteer as the next guy to try. Finally, the military chancellor, Xiong, stepped up with a theory. Your Majesty, soldiers falling from the sky? That's obviously nonsense. There must have been a traitor inside who burned the grain supplies and spread panic. And also, Great Jing definitely set us up. They made a deal to attack together, but Lu Yuan hit US instead of the weaker Jing. Clearly they tipped him off. Everyone immediately agreed because it's way less embarrassing than admitting my guys can actually fly. Then the civil chancellor, Kai Yongzhou, made things interesting. He pointed out that the Great Qian Empire just had a palace coup. The Prince of Duan tried to seize power, got beaten by Yang Jie, and the Empress fled. The whole empire is leaderless chaos. His idea? Put pressure on Great Qian's new leadership. With no emperor and internal power struggles, they'd fold to Xia's demands. Remove my backup, isolate me, then negotiate. Not a bad plan, actually. Good thing those idiots spend more time arguing with each other than actually executing anything. The military chancellor and civil chancellor were throwing shade at each other like it was a poetry competition. You got a better idea? At least mine doesn't involve begging. Back and forth, back and forth. Meanwhile, I'm over here building cities, training my brother, enrolling my sister in college, and eating snacks with mom. Let them scheme. By the time they agree on a plan, I'll have doubled my territory again. So the Xia Emperor decided to send his civil chancellor to put pressure on what's left of the great Qin government. Smart move, I guess, if I didn't already have everything under control. But sure, go ahead and try diplomacy. I'll wait. Meanwhile, stuff was happening that I had no idea about. Zhao Jinjia, the woman I've been tearing my hair out trying to find, wasn't even in the capital anymore. She'd fled to Tongzhou province with my dad, our daughter Huan Huan, Zhao Ji, and a handful of guards. They were running from Yang Jia, who'd basically staged a coup, called Zhao Jinjia a fake empress, and was planning to crown her brother instead. Oh, and he was going to publicly execute the Prince of Duan, her uncle, on coronation day. Why? To bait her out of hiding. Classic villain move. And here's where it gets wild. My old man, my quiet, principled, I'm just a humble official, father, went full revolutionary. He couldn't rescue the prince through normal channels, so you know what he did? He invented a fake rebel leader called the Holy King and started a peasant uprising. Follow the Holy King. No taxes, no forced labor, free land for everyone, my dad. The guy who lectures me about propriety. The man who refused to leave the emperor's side out of loyalty. He's out there slaughtering rural landlords, seizing their grain, recruiting soldiers, conquering villages, took over 2 townships and 3,000 people in 3 days. Zhao Jinjia apparently watched all this and thought, this man is supposed to be a loyal minister, but he fights dirtier than actual rebels. That's my genetics, baby. Where do you think I got it from? Now here's the part that would have wrecked me if I knew about it at the time. Zhao Jinjia was planning to come find me. Not to reunite. Not because she missed me. She was going to bring me our daughter and leave Huan Huan with me permanently. She thought I'd be a good father. Which, yeah, obviously. But she also thought she might not survive what's coming, and she wanted Huan Huan safe. And the kicker? The thing that would have absolutely destroyed me? She told her eunuch Ma Sanbao, make sure Lu Yuan never finds out who I really am. If he discovers the truth, I probably won't be alive by then anyway. But Lu Qishan loves Huan Huan so much. If he finds out she's his granddaughter, he'll protect her. That's right. She'd been having our daughter call my dad Grandpa this whole time. Not teacher, Grandpa. She set it up so that even if everything fell apart, my father would be bonded to Huan Huan and keep her safe. This woman was playing 4-dimensional chess with family relationships while running from assassins across a drought-stricken wasteland with a toddler on her back. And I was at home eating snacks with Mom, completely clueless. The universe really has a sick sense of humor. I've got spies in 3 kingdoms, 1 million citizens, an army that can literally fly, and I can't find 1 woman and a baby. She was also hiding some massive secret about something she did that apparently killed my mother and siblings. Except, my mom is alive. My siblings are fine. So either she's talking about some past incident I don't know about, or this woman is carrying guilt about something that didn't actually happen the way she thinks. Either way, Zhao Jinjia, wherever you are, stop running. I'm not the bad guy here. Probably. So while the entire continent was scheming and plotting, I was doing the really important work, counting vegetables. I'm not joking. I was inside a greenhouse, sweating through my coat because it's 20 degrees in there while it's below 0 outside, doing math on cabbage output. This is the glamorous warlord life nobody tells you about. Boss, we built 600 new acres of greenhouses this season. Glass Factory gave us 40% of their output. We can produce 1.5 million pounds of vegetables. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Divide that by nearly 2 million people, and everyone gets like 1 pound per season. 1 pound. That's a sad salad. I've got Taishan County, the new Songshan County, formerly known as Great Xia Pass, renamed because I own it now, refugees flooding in daily. Mouths are multiplying faster than my cabbages. I need plastic. If I could invent plastic sheeting, I could build greenhouses 10 times cheaper than glass ones. But no, I'm stuck in ancient China where the most advanced polymer is tree sap. I was internally screaming. My poor greenhouse manager Yang Taiju looked like he was about to faint from fear. I patted his shoulder. Relax, buddy, not your fault. Just keep the food coming. Meanwhile, my sister Lingji was in the crowd of agriculture students watching me stress out. First day of farming school, and she's already learning lesson number 1. Your big brother is basically a professional warrior who feeds a country. Now, while I was having my vegetable crisis, things were happening on the road that I didn't know about yet. Zhao Jinjia was coming. To me. With our daughter. She'd passed through northern Liang Pass, where Zhang Wei rolled out the red carpet. He called her, Your Majesty, and everything. But let's be real. The only reason he didn't arrest her and ship her to Yangjia for a promotion was because of me. And she knew it. Zhang Wei was being respectful to the Empress, but loyal to Lu Yuan. She noticed. It stung. Zhang Wei caught her up on everything she missed. My little 2-month highlight reel. Conquered Great Xia Pass in one night. Captured 30,000 soldiers. Turned the undefeatable god of war, Li Quniong, into my employee. Renamed the fortress. Expanded to 100,000 troops. And made both Great Xia and Great Jing too scared to breathe in my direction. Zhao Ji, her cousin, was practically fanboying. Master Lu is so strong. One city versus 2 empires, and he won. Zhao Jinjia just bit her lip. She was thinking what everyone thinks. If this man helped me, all my problems would disappear. But she's too proud to ask, or too scared, or both. Zhang Wei also bragged about my refugee program. Work for food, kids under 6 eat free, women and elderly do light handicrafts. Able-bodied men get assigned labor with 3 meals a day. Over 250,000 refugees processed, and counting. Then he caught himself praising me too much in front of the actual Empress, and awkwardly added, Of course, Your Majesty could definitely do even better. She laughed at herself. Could she? The drought started in her territory, under her rule, and she couldn't even think of, give people jobs instead of handouts. I figured that out on day 1. Snow was falling. Winter had arrived. Things were about to get harder for everyone. And then, I was walking out of my greenhouse, still thinking about glass production quotas and bioplastic alternatives, when I heard Zhang Wei's voice calling from outside. Brother Lu, you in there? I stepped out, confused. Zhang Wei never comes to northern Liang unannounced. Then I saw him. Then I saw Zhao Ji behind him. And then, Zhao Jinjia. And in her arms, a little girl. Huan Huan, my daughter, standing right there, in the snow, looking at me. Every cabbage calculation in my brain evaporated instantly. I walked out of my greenhouse thinking about cabbage, and walked into the most important moment of my life. There she was, Zhao Jinjia, and she put down this tiny little person, and that tiny little person opened her arms and ran at me screaming, Daddy. It's Huan Huan. My brain short-circuited. I think the temperature difference between the greenhouse and the freezing air outside fried my neurons. But my body moved on its own. I sprinted over, scooped her up, and squeezed her so tight she probably couldn't breathe. Baby girl, how'd you get here? She wrapped her little arms around my neck and started kissing my face all over. Daddy, I missed you so much. 2 months. 2 months of not sleeping, not eating properly, driving myself insane worrying about this kid. And now she's here, smushing her nose against mine, giggling like the world isn't falling apart outside. I wrapped her in my cloak and we just stood there, forehead to forehead, nose to nose, like absolute goofballs. The farming students in the greenhouse were melting. Look, that's the boss's daughter. She's so cute, and the wife is so pretty. They're perfect together. Zhao Jinjiao was standing there with her arms crossed, pouting. Our daughter never shows her this much affection apparently. Huh. Team Daddy wins. My sister Lingji spotted them from inside the greenhouse, eyes wide as plates. She wanted to run over, but couldn't blow her cover identity. Poor girl had to just watch. Then Zhao Jinjia dropped the bomb. All right, kids delivered. I'm leaving. Take care of her. Bye, excuse me? She tried to walk away. I grabbed her hand. Where exactly do you think you're going? Leaving northern Liang. This is MY territory. You don't just waltz in and waltz out like it's a shopping mall. I just came to drop off Huan Huan. It's not safe out there for her. You're her father. Take some responsibility for once. I'll come back for her later. I looked at my daughter. She'd gotten thinner. I mumbled. No wonder she lost weight. Wrong thing to say. Zhao Jinjia's eyes went nuclear. She thought I was blaming her. Yes or no? Will you take care of the child? Yes. I want the kid and I want you. Stay here where it's safe. We walk different paths. Even if you trap my body, you'll never have my heart. She literally quoted an ancient breakup line at me, in front of Zhang Wei and Zhao Ji, who were both pretending very hard to look at the sky. I didn't want to force anything in public, so I played a card. Fine, you can leave. But first, come meet someone. You can explain to her why you disappeared, so I stopped getting yelled at every day. Who? You'll see. Then I opened my cloak and pulled her into it with me and Huan Huan, because this idiot showed up in winter wearing basically nothing. She turned bright red and started punching me. Let go of me, you turtle. I did not let go. In the carriage, Zhao Ji explained everything. The coup, the fake emperor, the Prince of Duan's execution date. I told him straight up, I'll send people to rescue your dad. You stay here. The empire is done. The Empress has no chance of coming back. One spark and the whole thing burns down. Zhao Jinjia punched me in the ribs. Hard. Ow. What? I'm telling the truth. Don't talk bad about the Empress. Zhang Wei and Zhao Ji both suddenly found the carriage walls very interesting. These two idiots know the truth. That Zhao Jinjia is the Empress. And I'm the only moron in the room who doesn't. They said later it was like watching a married couple flirt through violence. That's not what it was. Zhao Ji tried to leave too, saying he needed to go back and serve the Empress. I told him if things ever go south, my door is always open for him and his dad. The kid dropped to his knees and started ugly crying. 3 full kowtows. Nobody knew what he'd been through these past weeks, but it clearly broke something in him. I pulled him up. Your dad and I are brothers. I'm not going to let him die. Now, the grand finale. I brought Zhao Jinjia and Huan Huan home, kicked open the door, and yelled, "Mom, come see who I brought." Zhao Jinjia froze. Mom, Zhao Ji's brain also crashed. He was there the night the new party supposedly burned down my family's house. My mom and siblings were supposed to be dead. Surprise. They're not. Mom walked out. What are you yelling about now? I held up Huan Huan like Simba. Mom, this is your granddaughter. Grandma. Huan Huan smiled the most devastating smile in recorded history. Mom's hands flew to her mouth. She stared at Huan Huan. Then she ran over and snatched that baby so fast I got whiplash. She looks exactly like Lingji when she was little. Same face. Definitely a Liu family baby. She'd been skeptical about the whole one-night stand produced a child story. But one look at Huan Huan's face and all doubt vanished. That's genetics, baby. Liu family genes are strong. Then Mom turned to Zhao Jinjia, grabbed her hands, and started crying. You must be Jinjia. My son told me everything. Our Liu family owes you. 5 years raising this child alone. You've suffered too much. From now on, you and Huan Huan are the Liu family's treasures. If this idiot son of mine ever mistreats you, I will cut him off as my child. Zhao Jinjia just stood there, totally blindsided. She came here to drop off a baby and bounce. Instead, she got a mother-in-law who's crying, holding her hands, calling her family, and threatening to disown me on her behalf. And me? I'm standing behind them with the biggest, dumbest grin on my face. I told Mom I'd bring her granddaughter home. Promise, kept. Now I just need Zhao Jinjia to stop trying to escape. Which, knowing her, will be the hardest military campaign of my career. Zhao Ji was standing there frozen. Zhao Jinjia was confused. My mom was alive, and they both thought she was dead. Fun surprise. See, when the new party set fire to our house, Liu Su got there in time to save Mom. My dad buried empty coffins and mourned for real. He genuinely thought they died. The secret was kept to protect my family. Makes sense. Can't kill someone if you don't know they exist. Mom dragged Zhao Jinjiao inside like she was adopting a stray kitten. Come in, sweetheart. Are your parents alive? We'll bring them here too. We're family now. My parents are both gone. Mom nearly burst into tears again. You poor child. I'll treat you like my own daughter from now on. Zhao Jinjiao was cracking under all this motherly love. She tried to set the record straight. Ma'am, I appreciate it, but Lu Yuan and I aren't what you think. There's zero feelings involved. We accidentally made a baby. I'm dropping her off because it's safe here. I'm leaving tomorrow. Mom slowly turned to look at me with murder eyes. Get over here and fix this. Mom, I can't. She's stubborn like a cow. Won't budge. Smack. You haven't even tried. Don't you know the saying? A good woman can't resist a persistent man? If Jinjiao leaves, don't ever call me your mother again. I'll leave with her. My own mother threatened to abandon me for a woman she met 5 minutes ago. That's how quickly Zhao Jinjiao won her over. So there I was, backed into a corner by my own mom. Fine. Fine. You want a confession? I'll give you a confession. I took a deep breath and looked at Zhao Jinjia. I'm not asking you to stay just because you're Huan Huan's mother. I'm asking because I have feelings for you. Real ones. For the 2 months you were gone, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. All I thought about was you and our daughter. Last time you left, I kicked myself for not stopping you. I've been thinking about you for 5 years, and when you finally showed up in front of me, I never once properly told you how I feel. No wonder you left. You didn't even know. The room went dead quiet. So here, in front of my mother and everyone, I, Lu Yuan, want to marry you. I want to take care of you and our daughter for the rest of my life. If you're not ready, I'll wait. I waited 5 years. I'll wait another 5. We're young. We've got plenty of 5 years left. And if any of what I just said is a lie, may lightning strike me dead. Mom nodded approvingly. Now that's how a Lu family man talks. Zhang Wei and Zhao Ji were grinning like idiots. Red Lady turned away, hugging her giant sword, eyes suspiciously wet. I pretended not to notice. Zhao Jianjia's armor was cracking. I could see it. For one tiny second, she almost said yes. Almost. But then she did what she always does, pulled out her trump card. Remember what I told you before? I said if you're willing to save the great Qian Empire, I'd be your wife. So tell me now, in front of everyone, are you a rebel, or are you going to restore the empire? The room shifted. Zhang Wei's smile froze. Zhao Ji was silently begging me with his eyes. Red Lady snorted. Mom got impatient. Well, say something. I was quiet for a long moment. Then I sighed. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Zhang Wei, internally throwing a party. Zhao Ji, literally covering his face crying. Why? Red Lady, grinning ear to ear. Mom, boy, what exactly are you trying to do with your life? Zhao Jianjia's face went blank. That cold, dead disappointment. Like I'd handed her hope on a plate and then smashed it. Fine. Your road, my road. Goodbye forever. But I wasn't done. Northern Liang is what it is today because of its people. Not the empire. Not the court. Every brick was laid by refugees that the government threw away like garbage. When they were starving, where was the court? When barbarians were burning their villages, where was the court? When millions fled the drought, where was the court? You're asking me to pledge loyalty to the people who abandoned them. I won't do that. But I'm not a rebel either. I don't want the throne. I don't care about the empire's drama. I won't attack the Empress. I won't hurt innocent people. Northern Liang just wants to live in peace. However, and listen carefully, if anyone, any new government, any future emperor, anyone dares touch Northern Liang, they better be ready to be wiped off the map. We don't start fights, but we yindi them. That's my answer. Take it or leave it. Silence. You know what? I could have just said, yes, dear, and saved myself a lot of trouble. But I'm not built that way. 1,000,000 people trusted me with their lives. I'm not trading them for a marriage certificate. Even if the bride is really, really pretty. And really, really angry at me right now. Zhao Ji dropped to his knees begging me to save the empire. I looked at this kid, the kid I taught, the kid I care about, and I had to be honest. The empire is terminally ill, bro. Even if you revive it, it'll just die again. Unless you burn it down and start over. Then let's start over. You'll be the greatest hero in history. Rebuilding this mess is harder than conquering a new kingdom. Your family had 200 years, and look what happened. The throne isn't anyone's birthright. If you can't hold it, someone else will. That hurt him. I could see it. But I pulled him up and gave him something better than empty promises. I won't fight the empire, but I'll do business with you. Food, supplies, and yes, even weapons. As long as the price is right. Zhao Ji grabbed me so hard I thought he'd crack a rib. Really? You'll still support us? Business is business. The world's on fire, but commerce doesn't stop. He hugged me. Full-on bear hug. Crying into my shoulder. This kid, man. He makes it really hard to stay neutral. Then Zhao Jinjia, Miss Ice Queen, wanted to seal the deal with a handshake. Promise you won't betray the Empress. If you do, I'll hate you forever. Shake on it. I looked at her outstretched hand, and something inside me just deflated. You really want to turn this into a transaction? You want me to feel like everything between us is just business? The empire matters more to you than me? More than this family? She couldn't look me in the eye. I have no feelings for you. Just keep your word and thank you. That stung. Not gonna lie. I slapped my hand against hers. Hard. Fine. As you wish. She felt the shift. The temperature between us dropped 10 degrees in 1 second. She tried to backtrack. We're both stubborn people. You have your responsibilities. I have mine. Then I noticed how thin she'd gotten. Thinner than last time. Dark circles under her eyes like a panda. This woman was running herself into the ground. I changed my mind. I said, Her face went red with fury. Lu Yuan, are you even a man? You're going back on your word in front of your mother, whether I'm a man or not. You should know better than anyone. Dead silence. Zhang Wei choked. Zhao Ji suddenly found the ceiling fascinating. I mean, I don't want to do business with Zhao Ji anymore. I want you to be my contact person. You handle the deals. Everyone exhaled. Zhang Wei thought I was about to flip the table. Zhao Ji nearly had a heart attack. But this was actually genius, if I do say so myself. Zhao Jinjia might claim she has no feelings for me, but now she has to come back to Northern Liang regularly to do business. And oh, our daughter just happens to be here. What a coincidence. She saw through it immediately. I'm not even a government official. How can I represent them? Interesting. She said she's not with the government. But Zhao Ji, who's literally the Empress's cousin, is standing right there letting her make all the decisions. Almost like she is the government. Liu Su searched every official's family records and never found a Zhao Jinjia. Either she changed her name, or she's something else entirely. I filed that away for later. Don't care. I only deal with you. And you can't just abandon Huan Huan for years, right? You'll visit. Fine. Got her. Mom clapped her hands. Enough politics. It's a happy day. I'm cooking. She didn't ask me about my plans for the empire. She's not stupid. She's seen the city, the army, the million people. She knows this is way beyond county magistrate territory. But she trusts me. That's enough. Then Lingji burst through the door like a hurricane. Where's MY's sister-in-law and niece? She bowed to Zhao Jinjia, said hello, then immediately hugged her and started crying. You've suffered so much these years. Zhao Jinjia was genuinely confused. First Mom cried for her. Now the sister is crying. She was probably thinking, do all Lu family women just leak from the eyes constantly? But I could see it hitting her. Nobody had cried for her before. Nobody had held her and said, we're sorry you went through that. She's been fighting alone for years, and suddenly there's a whole family wrapping around her like a warm blanket she didn't ask for. Then Huan, my perfect, adorable daughter, saw Lingji crying and said, Annie, don't cry. Mommy says kids who cry are little rascals. Lingji melted. Everyone melted. Even I melted, and I was trying to look cool. Then Mom and Lingji completely took over baby duty and kicked me into the kitchen. Me, the Lord of Northern Liang, banished to chop vegetables. Lu Yong showed up from Taishan County, had zero idea what was happening, and before he could ask a single question, Mom kicked him into the kitchen too. He stood there, dirt still under his fingernails from construction work, staring at me. Big bro, is that my sister-in-law and niece out there? Yep. Stop gawking. Wash the vegetables. He grinned like an idiot. Hee. I'm an uncle. I cooked dinner. Full spread. I'm actually pretty good. Stir-frying basically became a trend across Northern Liang because of me. The man who conquered nations also conquered the wok. Mom piled Zhao Jinjia's bowl so high with food, it looked like a mountain. Every 30 seconds, more meat, more greens, more soup. Zhao Jinjia couldn't keep up. She'd never experienced anything like this. Growing up in whatever cold, formal life she had, dinner was probably silent and stiff. Now she's got a mom force-feeding her, a sister crying happy tears, a baby niece making everyone laugh, and two idiot brothers fighting over who washes dishes. Then Mom put down her chopsticks and said something that shut everyone up. Jinjia, your father-in-law isn't here, so I'll speak for him. This family recognizes one daughter-in-law. You. Nobody else, no matter who they are. This is your home now. And all of us, we are your rock. Zhao Jinjia stared at her plate. She didn't say anything, but I saw her hand tremble. She came here to drop off a baby and disappear. Instead, she got a family that refuses to let her go. And somewhere between the crying and the cooking and the chaos, I think she realized something she'll never admit out loud. She doesn't want to leave either. Dinner was perfect. Huan had a chicken leg in one hand and a pork knuckle in the other, face covered in grease, offering bites to Grandma and Annie. Mom and Lingji were so obsessed with my daughter they forgot I existed. Which is fine. I'm just the guy who built an empire and cooked dinner. Nobody important. That night, Mom and Lingji kidnapped Huan for a bonding sleepover, leaving me alone with Zhao Jinjia. My chance. Just the two of us. Romantic atmosphere. Candles flickering. I summoned all my courage and said, "Want to sleep?" She said one word. Scram. Then she walked into her room and closed the door. I slapped myself. Literally. Open palm. Right across the face. What a perfect opportunity, and you blew it with one asleep. What is wrong with you? I laid awake all night torturing myself. She slept like a baby. Of course she did. She dumped all her problems on me. The kid, the political alliance, the emotional baggage. And now she's snoring peacefully while I stare at the ceiling questioning every life choice I've ever made. Next morning, she left. Her and Zhao Ji, off to rebuild their crumbling empire. But here's the thing. She wasn't sad about leaving. Because she knows she's coming back. Our little business arrangement means she has to visit Northern Liang regularly to see her daughter and me, whether she admits that second part or not. I gave her one of my best carriages. Top-of-the-line Northern Liang engineering. Spacious, warm, smooth ride. Even has a built-in tea setup. I didn't make a big deal about it. Just swapped it out quietly. She noticed, though. I could tell it made her happy, even though she'd rather eat glass than say so. In the carriage, Zhao Ji told her my real intention behind making her the business contact instead of him. Sister, he did that to help you. She just closed her eyes and said, I know. She knows. She knows I'm doing everything I can for her, and she still won't admit she likes me. This woman will be the death of me. Not armies. Not empires. Her. She also warned Zhao Ji that Zhang Wei has divided loyalties. Smart observation. Late, but smart. Now, speaking of Zhang Wei, the second Zhao Jinjia's carriage disappeared over the horizon. This man came into my office and did something I did not expect. He dropped to both knees. Full kowtow position. Brother Liu, I have a request. Zhang Wei, what are you doing? We don't do this. Get up. He wouldn't move. This giant military man was on my floor like a prayer mat. These years, you've kept Northern Liang Pass alive. You saved me from the barbarians. I swore then I'd follow you. Now the empire is collapsing. Only Northern Liang has a future. I'm begging you, take Northern Liang Pass under your command. Bang. Forehead on the floor. Zhang Wei, you heard what I told Zhao Jinjia yesterday. I promised not to interfere. You're making me break my word. You didn't attack me. I came to you. Totally different. Please, think about my 150,000 soldiers. Their families. We have no future with the empire. Bang, bang, bang. More head smashing. You're hurting yourself. Stop. If you don't agree, I'll smash my head until I die right here. And he meant it. This lunatic was hammering his forehead into my floor so hard, he actually knocked himself halfway unconscious. I had to physically pick him up and dump him on a chair. Zhang Wei, why are you doing this to yourself? He was all dizzy and slurring. Brother, I don't want to serve a dying empire. But I won't betray to an enemy nation either. And I'm not smart enough to go independent. If my soldiers die because of my bad decisions, I'll never forgive myself. You're the only option. Please, I was stuck. On one hand, I literally just promised Zhao Jinjia I wouldn't expand. On the other hand, 150,000 soldiers and hundreds of thousands of their family members are asking for protection. And Zhang Wei was bleeding from his forehead on my furniture. Fine. I'll take you. Happy, really? Yes. But we do it quietly. Publicly, nothing changes. Behind the scenes, I'll gradually shift resources your way. You reform Northern Liang Pass to match our systems. When the time is right, we make it official. Zhang Wei rolled off the chair, got on his knees again, and bowed properly. Zhang Wei greets the great master. This time, I didn't dodge. I stood there and took it. Because this bow wasn't between brothers anymore. This was a general pledging to his lord. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't been eyeing Northern Liang Pass. With the Great Xia Pass and Northern Liang Pass under my control, that's two of the three major fortresses surrounding my territory. One more, the Great Jing Pass, and Northern Liang becomes literally impenetrable. You'd need 1 million soldiers minimum to even think about attacking. And honestly, Zhang Wei was right about one thing. The empire's dead. Chaos is coming. If I left him independent, sooner or later he'd either get swallowed by someone else or become a threat himself. Better to have him inside the tent than outside it. Besides, I didn't technically break my promise. I said I wouldn't attack the empire. I didn't say anything about the empire's generals voluntarily headbutting my floor until I adopted them. Loopholes. Gotta love him. Get up, old Zhang. Not Big Brother Zhang anymore. A friendlier, but hierarchically correct, old Zhang. He noticed. He smiled. Somebody get old Zhang to the doctor. He cracked his skull open on my floor, and I'd rather not explain that to anyone. So while I was busy staring at maps and drooling over the Great Jing Pass, because it has a river that goes all the way to the ocean and I desperately need a navy, the most hilarious diplomatic disaster in history was unfolding without me. See, the Xia Emperor sent an ambassador to Great Jing first, convinced them to team up, and then both ambassadors marched into the Great Qian capital to confront Yang Jie, the guy who stole the throne. Picture this. Two angry foreign diplomats walk into Yang Jie's court and start making demands. Jing ambassador, give us back our princess. Release our General Pashan. Hand over that Lu Yuan guy and let us punish him. Apologize, Xia ambassador. Give us back our princess. Release our god of war Li Quniang. Return the Great Xia Pass. Hand over 50,000 military prisoners. Give us the entire northern Liang County. And Lu Yuan. Pierce his shoulder bones and drag him to us in chains. Do it or war. Yang Jie sat there blinking. His ministers sat there blinking. Everyone was blinking. I'm sorry. What? Yang Jie genuinely had no clue what they were talking about. He's been busy staging coups, forging imperial decrees, and hunting down the Empress. Nobody told him that some random county magistrate in the armpit of the empire had been conquering foreign fortresses. Your princesses aren't in our country. Why would they be here? That makes no sense. The Great Xia Pass has stood for 200 years and never been breached. You think we broke it? With what army? We just had a civil war. We can barely feed ourselves. Northern Liang County? That dump where barbarians kill every magistrate we send? You want me to find a county magistrate named Lu Yuan? Should I dig him up from a grave? They die every year out there. The Qian ministers were furious. Not because they were lying, they legitimately didn't know. They thought this was the most outrageous shakedown in diplomatic history. This is absurd. We never sent troops anywhere. Pashan is your general. How is he our problem? We've never even seen the man. You want us to believe we captured a god of war and breached an unbreakable fortress? During a succession crisis? Do we look like we have time for that? This isn't diplomacy. This is robbery. The ambassadors were getting angrier because they thought Yang Jie was playing dumb. Yang Jie was getting angrier because he thought they were making stuff up to bully a weakened nation. Jing ambassador, stop pretending. If you keep this up, both our nations will declare war. Xia ambassador, you think you've won and you can look down on us? Fine. If there's no deal, there's war. Yang Jie was ready to flip the table. You're the ones bullying us. Coming in here with these ridiculous demands. You think I'm 3 years old, and me? I'm sitting in northern Liang, sipping tea, completely unaware that I've accidentally created an international crisis where two empires are about to declare war on a third empire. That has absolutely nothing to do with any of it. I am, without exaggeration, the most chaotic force on this continent, and I'm not even in the room. This is the best day of my life, and I don't even know it yet. So apparently, after the two ambassadors stormed out of Yang Jie's court, they had a little meeting outside and somehow convinced themselves that Yang Jie was a mastermind. Their logic went something like this. He's pretending not to know about Lu Yuan. That means Lu Yuan is his secret weapon. The coup, the timing of the barbarian genocide, the fortress conquest, it's all connected. Yang Jie orchestrated everything. He's playing four-dimensional chess while we're playing checkers. You're right. And remember those mysterious assassinations of new party officials last month? That was Yang Jie eliminating rivals within his own faction. He's consolidating power to conquer the world. I need to pause here to appreciate the absolute beauty of this misunderstanding. Yang Jie, the guy who stole the throne from Zhao Jinjia, is getting credit for my work. The barbarian extermination? Me. The Great Xia Pass conquest? Me. The mysterious killings of new party members? That was Liu Su, who did it to avenge my family. Yang Jie didn't do a single thing except sit in a chair and look confused. And now two foreign empires think he's the most dangerous man alive. I couldn't write comedy this good if I tried. Back inside the palace, Yang Jie calmed down and asked his ministers what to do. Dead silence. Nobody wanted to talk. Finally, one smart guy, a scholar named Feng Hui, said something actually intelligent. What if they're not lying? Everyone stared at him. Think about it. If they wanted to scam us, they'd ask for money and grain. Instead, they're asking for princesses, generals, and some random county magistrate. That's a weird bluff. Nobody invents something that's specific and that easy to disprove. They also want us to hand over northern Liang County, a wasteland run by barbarians. Why would anyone want that? Unless something happened there that we don't know about. Yang Jie's face changed. Has Zhang Wei responded to our letters? No, sir. We sent the invitation a month ago. Nothing back. Zhang Wei has 150,000 soldiers at northern Liang Pass. The room went very quiet. Pull every record on northern Liang County magistrates. Find me anyone named Lu Yuan. Now. An hour later, the Ministry of Personnel came back with their report. Sir, there are no records of anyone named Lu Yuan. Anywhere. In the entire system, no records. That's right. 5 years ago, the old regime sent me to northern Liang as a throwaway assignment. Go die in the desert, nobody cares. The appointment was so insignificant that when Yang Jie's faction took over, they apparently didn't even bother keeping my paperwork. Or it was destroyed. Or it was never properly filed in the first place. So now Yang Jie is searching his own government for me. And as far as the official records are concerned, I don't exist. The man who conquered 2 fortresses, enslaved an entire barbarian nation, commands 200,000 soldiers, governs nearly 2 million people, and accidentally caused an international diplomatic crisis. Dot is a ghost. Query not found. Error 404. Lu Yuan does not exist. I'm sitting in my heated office right now eating pork dumplings my mom made, completely unaware that 3 empires are losing their minds over me while the official records say I'm literally nobody. This is peak comedy. I should write a book. So Yang Jie searched his entire government database for me and got nothing. 0. Nada. Lu Yuan, file not found. The guy literally said, everyone named Lu is trash anyway, because he hates my dad. Then he waved it off and decided the 2 foreign ambassadors were just scammers. Bold strategy, Yang Jie. Ignore reality hard enough, and maybe it goes away. Spoiler, it won't. Meanwhile, I was already making moves he'd never see coming. Remember how I promised Zhao Jinjia I wouldn't mess with the empire? And remember how her uncle, the Prince of Duan, was scheduled to be publicly executed at the fake emperor's coronation? Yeah, I couldn't let that slide. The prince is my buddy. Brothers don't let bros get beheaded at political ceremonies. So I sent Chin the blind man. This guy is one of my operatives. Wears a Taoist robe, has a gold tooth, and his eyes look like dead fish. He looks like a scam fortune teller you'd find outside a bus station. He is also terrifyingly good at his job. Yang Jie had the prince locked in an underwater dungeon. Maximum security. Guards everywhere. Shin walked in, killed every single guard, broke the prince out, and had him in a carriage outside the capital before anyone even noticed. By the time Yang Jie found out, the prince was already drinking my special nutrient recovery juice and asking who rescued him. Who sent you? The big boss. Lu Yuan. Yep. You're safe now. I'm handing you off to the next escort team. They'll take you to your son. The prince tried to bow in gratitude, and Chun had to physically stop him from falling over. The man was half dead from torture and still trying to be polite. Old school royalty, man. Respect. Yang Jie found out and lost it. Seal the city. Find him. Dig up every stone. Too late, buddy. My guy was already 3 counties away sipping tea. Now here's the part that makes me weirdly proud, even though I wasn't there. My dad. While I was rescuing princes and managing vegetable quotas, my old man was in Tongzhou going absolutely feral. By the time Zhao Jinjia got back from visiting me, he'd conquered an entire county and half of another one. Expanded from 3,000 to, well, a lot more. Built up grain reserves, weapon stockpiles, trained soldiers, all from scratch. All without spending a single coin of Zhao Jinjia's money. Zhao Jinjia looked at his account books and basically said, "This is the best hire I've ever made. You're welcome." Those are Lu family genes at work. She promoted him to Great General of the North on the spot. Dad accepted with a formal kowtow, cool as ice, then immediately heard that some cult called the Red Robe Church was attacking a nearby county and went, "Heaven has a road, but you chose hell. Move out. We're taking the whole county today." This man is 70-something years old and talks like an action movie villain. I love him so much. Oh, and then, this is where it gets absolutely unhinged. Dad pulled out a golden mask and handed it to Zhao Jinjia. "Your Majesty, you are the Holy King now. Tonight, we stage a performance." "What kind of performance?" I stuffed a prophecy scroll inside a giant white snake. The locals worship dragons. Tonight, you put on this mask, pull out a sword, and slay the white dragon in front of everyone. It'll cement the Holy King legend across the entire province. My father, the loyal minister, the principled scholar, the guy who lectures me about morality. He's out here fabricating prophecies, staging fake miracles, and building a religious cult around his boss. This man looked at every rule in the book, closed the book, threw it in a river, and said, "I'm the book now." I have never been more proud to be his son. Zhao Jinjia put on the mask and became both the secret empress of Great Qian and the mythical Holy King of Tongzhou. Dual identity. Superhero origin story. My dad is basically her Alfred. And me? I'm at home, eating dumplings, checking greenhouse temperatures. The Liu family is conquering the world on two fronts and nobody has connected the dots yet. We are the most dangerously competent family in this entire story, and it's not even close. So apparently while I was at home doing responsible adult things like budgeting greenhouse glass, my not wife was out there becoming a warlord. Let me back up. My dad cooked up this scheme where Zhao Jinjiao would put on a golden mask and pretend to be the mythical Holy King. To seal the deal, he stuffed a fake prophecy inside a white snake and had her dramatically slay it in front of everyone. Classic, divine mandate. Theater, the exact same trick the founding emperor of Great Qian used 200 years ago with a fish and a fake dragon. Zhao Jinjia knew it was all nonsense. She's a smart woman, but she put on the mask, played the part, and became the Holy King anyway. Her exact reaction behind the mask? Probably something like, "I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm literally becoming a cult leader. Thanks, Lu Qishan." Then the Red Robe Church attacked, and things got real interesting. Zhao Jinjia rode out in dark red armor, golden mask, carrying one of MY premium 100 forged steel swords strapped to her side, looking like a fantasy novel cover come to life. But here's the detail that made my heart do a stupid thing when I heard about it later. She was also carrying the handgun I gave her, the one I personally engraved with the character 4, Yuan, my name, on her weapon, and she said I was showing off by putting my name on it. Woman, I gave you the most advanced firearm on the continent, and you're complaining about the branding? I also gave her 10,000 rounds of ammunition and told her to practice a lot and not be stingy with bullets. Zhao Ji apparently kept begging to borrow the gun, and she refused every single time. That gun is hers. Nobody touches it. She won't even admit she likes me, but she won't let anyone else hold my gift. Make it make sense. Now, I wouldn't sell her firearms for her army. That's true. Those are too dangerous to let loose in the current chaos. But I gave her one personally, for protection, because I'm not going to let the mother of my child ride into battle without the best weapon in the world. She noticed the contradiction. She didn't say anything about it, but she noticed. The battle itself? She emptied clip after clip into the enemy. Her hands went numb from the recoil. She nearly threw up from her first kills, but she kept reloading, kept shooting. The Red Robe Church crumbled in under an hour. Their cavalry got steamrolled by the Imperial Guards, and Zhao Jinjia personally chased down and executed their leader. Her first battle, first command, first victory, first kills. This is the same woman who could barely hold a sword 6 months ago. Then she found 300 girls inside the cult's base. All of them beaten, abused, broken, clothes torn, eyes empty. The kind of sight that makes you want to burn the world down. Zhao Jinjia looked at those girls, and something clicked. Do you want to protect yourselves? Then stand up. Join me. I'll give you weapons. I'll train you. We'll destroy every monster like the ones who did this to you. Do you dare? One girl stood up. I dare. Then another. Then another. Then all of them. Zhao Jinjia grabbed her own ponytail and cut it off with her sword. Held it high. Men can do what we do. Today we prove women can do the same. Her bodyguards, grape, watermelon, peach, all of them, drew their blades and cut their hair too. Without a word, without hesitation. 300 rescued girls picked up the swords on the ground and cut their own hair. From today, you are the heroine army, and we will sweep away every injustice in this land. I wasn't there. I heard about it later, and when I did, I sat quietly for a long time. I once told her that in chaotic times, women are treated worse than dogs. I said it as a fact, a warning, a reason to stay safe in northern Lyon. She heard it as a challenge. And she answered it by building an army. I'm not going to pretend I'm not a little terrified, and a lot impressed, and maybe, just maybe, falling even harder for a woman who keeps telling me she has no feelings for me while carrying a gun with my name on it into battle. This woman is going to either marry me or kill me, and honestly, I'm not sure which one scares me more. So you know what's wild? I'm sitting in northern Liang managing crop yields, and somewhere out in Tongzhou, the mother of my child is building a religion. My dad's fake prophecy worked perfectly. Zhao Jinjia, sorry, the Holy King, slayed the white snake in front of everyone, pulled out the planted scroll that said, "When the Holy King rises, peace shall follow," and the entire crowd dropped to their knees like dominoes. Kids in the street started singing songs about her. Songs. Welcome the Holy King. The Holy King brings no taxes, no forced labor, free land for everyone. Catchiest propaganda jingle I've ever heard. My dad wrote that, I guarantee it. The man missed his calling as a songwriter. In just a few days, this woman took half of Tongzhou. Her army, the White Snake Army, snowballed from 3,000 to 10,000. She personally killed the Red Robe church leader. She made those rescued girls execute their own abusers with their own hands. She renamed her entire force after her fake snake miracle. She went from, "Please protect me," to, "I am the protection," in about 2 weeks. Then they hit a wall. Tongzhou's capital city. Deep walls, proper garrison, 3,000 trained soldiers, and a moat. Even with the drought lowering the water, you still can't just walk up and knock. No siege equipment. Most of her soldiers are carrying wooden pitchforks. My dad suggested sneaking assassins inside. Zhao Ji said that was too risky. Someone else said forget Tongzhou, go take Zhongzhou instead. Classic committee paralysis. Everyone has an idea, nobody agrees. Then Zhao Jinjia shut everyone up. If we can't take the capital, we take everything else. Zhongzhou's rebel factions, the birthless mother cult, the pagoda king. We crush them all, absorb their people, build a real army. We'll snowball to hundreds of thousands. Then Tongzhou's walls won't matter. My dad tested her on purpose. Mentioned that this path meant feeding all those people. No turning back. Civilians would die. Her response? War kills people. If they don't die fighting, they'll die starving. At least fighting gives them hope. Holy King is wise. Everyone bowed. My dad smiled. He'd been testing her resolve. She passed. That proud old man was actually satisfied with his daughter-in-law's strategic thinking. She doesn't know he's her father-in-law. He doesn't know she's his daughter-in-law. They're both working together brilliantly while having no idea they're family. This is the most absurd workplace dynamic in military history. And then, the cherry on top, my rescue team delivered the Prince of Duan. The Gaichin the blind man broke out of Yang Jie's underwater dungeon. He showed up at Zhao Jinjia's base, alive and free. Zhao Ji tackled his own father crying. Dad, I thought I'd never see you again. The prince walked in, saw my dad, and smiled. Qishan, old friend. It's been years. My dad just bowed and grinned. Everything's fine now, Your Highness. With you here, the future looks bright. These two old men, my dad and the prince, are now both serving under Zhao Jinjia. One is her secret father-in-law. The other is her uncle. Neither one knows the full picture. It's like a family reunion where nobody knows their family. The prince knelt before Zhao Jinjia. She took off her golden mask, helped him up, and they had a genuine heart-to-heart. She told him she finally understands. The empire can't be saved from inside the palace. It has to be rebuilt from the ground up. Only by breaking everything can we build something new. The prince looked at my dad and said, Qishan is brilliant. I could never match him. With him helping you, restoring the empire is only a matter of time, my dad. The guy everyone keeps calling a genius. The mastermind behind the Holy King operation. The man who built an army from nothing in 2 weeks. He's my dad. He learned it from me. Or I learned it from him. Honestly, at this point, I'm not sure who taught who anymore. What I don't know is this. I sent one rescue squad to save the prince, and accidentally gave Zhao Jinjia's revolution its missing puzzle piece. She now has a legendary strategist, my dad, a beloved royal figurehead, the prince, a fearless spy network, her bodyguards, and an army that worships her as a god. All she's missing is siege equipment. And guess who manufactures the best weapons on the continent? She's going to come knocking eventually. And when she does, I'm going to pretend to think about it for exactly 3 seconds before saying yes. Because that's what you do when the terrifying masked warlord who won't date you needs help conquering a city. You help, and you put your name on the invoice. So while I was minding my own business in northern Liang, the entire continent decided to go absolutely insane. First, the Prince of Duan finally told Zhao Jianjia his secret about knowing me, and she one-upped him by dropping the bomb. Huan's father is your old buddy Lu Yuan. The prince's brain crashed harder than a horse hitting a wall. What? Lu Yuan is the father? Does he know you're the, And you will never tell him. Not about me. Not about Huan being his granddaughter. Not about anything. Got it. The poor prince probably aged 10 years in 10 seconds. He walked in thinking he had juicy gossip to share, and walked out carrying the heaviest secret in the empire. He did have one moment of excitement, though. Wait, if Lu Yuan is the father, that means we have the strongest ally in the... He won't help. Already asked. He said no. Oh, welcome to my fan club, Prince. Population, everyone who wants my help and can't have it. Now, here's where things went completely off the rails thousands of miles away from me. Remember those two ambassadors who went to Yang Jie's court and got told to kick rocks? They went home, told their emperors, Yang Jie won't cooperate, and both empires said, fine. War it is. Great Xia and Great Jing launched a combined invasion. 20 actual thousand troops, advertised as 800,000 because everyone inflates their numbers, split into two forces. Force 1, Great Jing's army attacked the Western Glory Pass, the last major fortress before the capital. Force 2, Great Xia's Iron Sparrowhawks, 30,000 of the most terrifying heavy cavalry in the world, skipped the fortress entirely, just rode around it, burning every village, killing every person, torching every building in their path. Straight line to the capital. No stopping. No supplies needed. They ate what they conquered. Leading them, Xiong Lei, the military chancellor's brother. Veteran warrior. His strategy was beautiful in its simplicity. Goes so fast that by the time the capital figures out what's happening, we're already at the gate. And it worked. Meanwhile, in the capital, Yang Jie was busy playing pretend government. He'd found a body double to impersonate the Prince of Duan at tomorrow's coronation ceremony, since the real prince was now safely with Zhao Jianjia. Thanks to yours truly. The puppet Emperor Zhao, he was licking Yang Jie's boots so hard, he probably tasted shoe polish. After my coronation, I'll marry your daughter, make our son the crown prince. Oh no, your majesty, you already have an heir. That wouldn't be proper. My heir is an idiot. Your grandson will be emperor. This emperor literally wouldn't sit down unless Yang Jie sat first. He knew Yang Jie was sleeping with the previous emperor's wives. He knew Yang Jie broke every palace rule. And he didn't care. Because being a dog with a crown is still technically being a dog with a crown. Yang Jie was already planning to make this puppet abdicate once the time was right. He didn't want to be kingmaker forever. He wanted to be king. Then a scout burst through the door so fast he tripped on the threshold and ate the floor. The Xia and Jing armies are coming. 30,000 iron cavalry bypassed the fortress. They're burning everything. They're almost at the capital. Zhao Yi fell off the throne. Literally fell off the chair. What do we do? Yang Jie went white. They just attacked? No warning? No declaration? Those barbarians. Oh, the irony. He had warning. The ambassadors told him. He called them liars and threw them out. And now 30,000 armored horsemen are galloping toward his front door. He'd called the Dragon Cavalry, Great Qian's best mounted unit, 50,000 strong, back to defend the capital 2 weeks ago. Smart move. One problem, they hadn't arrived yet. So right now, all he has is 120,000 White Tiger infantry on the walls, 0 cavalry, and a puppet emperor who's crying on the floor. Yang Jie started screaming orders. Every male in the city between 14 and 50, get on the walls. 1 per household. Anyone who refuses dies. The scholar Feng Hui, the only guy with a brain, stood on the wall, heard the thundering hooves, saw the dust cloud, and said what everyone was thinking. Can we hold this? And me? I'm in northern Liang, eating dinner, playing with my daughter. 3 empires are at war because of a misunderstanding that I caused by existing, and nobody has still figured out that I'm the reason for all of this. I didn't fire a single arrow. I didn't send a single soldier. I just sat in my greenhouse counting cabbages, and the entire geopolitical order of the continent collapsed around a county magistrate that officially doesn't exist. I am the most destructive pacifist in human history, so I wasn't there for any of this. I heard about it later, and honestly, it made me sick. The Iron Sparrowhawks hit the capital in 3 days. 3 days of non-stop riding, burning everything in their path, and they didn't meet a single real opponent. Not one. The great empire of Qian, 200 years of history, and its heartland was so rotten that 30,000 cavalry rode through it like a hot knife through butter. Yang Jie wasn't stupid, I'll give him that. He figured out the 800,000 was propaganda. Real number was maybe 200,000 or 300,000 total. He knew cavalry can't carry siege equipment, so as long as the walls held, the city was safe. Basic math. Good thinking. But here's what he didn't account for. His own military was a dumpster fire. The rolling logs for defense? Rotted. The catapults? Not even assembled. The weapons? Half missing. Embezzled by corrupt officials pocketing the budget for years. He grabbed the Minister of War by the collar and screamed in his face, "Where is everything?" The minister had no answer. Because the answer was, your party stole it all. Then the battle started and things got ugly. Real ugly. Xiong Lei, the Xia commander, was no fool. His soldiers built portable floating bridges, snapped-together designs carried by individual troops. Shield formations pushed forward while fire arrows rained on the walls. It was a proper siege, and both sides were taking heavy losses. Then the Xia army did something that made my blood boil when I heard about it. They grabbed civilians. Men, women, elderly, children, even babies, from the villages they'd burned through, and shoved them to the front line as human shields. Hundreds of innocent people, screaming, begging the capital to open its gates. Some got pushed into the moat. Couldn't swim. Freezing water. Crying for help. The soldiers on the walls froze. These were their own people down there. A veteran officer, 30 years of service, went to report the situation. Yang Jie's son, Yang Tao, slapped him across the face. "Keep shooting. If they break through, we all die." The officer said something I'll never forget. 30 years in the army. Never killed many enemies. But my hands are covered in my own people's blood. You new party people call us soldiers the root of all chaos. But you are the real traitors. The empire is dying because of you. Yang Tao cut his head off. Right there. In front of everyone. Held up the bloody sword and screamed. Anyone else want to stop fighting? Then a commanding officer, a man with a conscience being crushed under impossible orders, screamed at his own troops to resume firing. A young soldier with red eyes said, "Sir, those are our people down there." The officer slapped him. "If they don't die, your family dies. Think about the million people inside these walls. Is saving a few hundred worth losing the entire city? Is that even a real question?" Nobody should have to answer that. But it gave the soldiers an excuse. A terrible, self-deceptive excuse. And they took it because the alternative was getting beheaded by Yang Tao. They lit the arrows. They poured burning oil into the moat. The civilians in the water, the ones who couldn't swim, the ones who were already drowning, were now burning alive in freezing water. The screams carried across the entire capital. Yang Tao looked at the horrified officials and said, "Don't feel sorry for those peasants. They obviously already surrendered to the enemy. They're traitors. They deserve to die." Yang Jie watched his son say this and felt proud. Thought the kid had his style. This is the government that Zhao Jianjiao wants to restore. This is the empire she's fighting to save. I know the empire isn't Yang Jie. I know the people aren't the government. But when I hear stories like this, soldiers forced to murder their own civilians while corrupt politicians hide behind walls built with stolen money, I know I made the right choice. Northern Liang doesn't do this. Northern Liang will never do this. Every refugee who walked through my gates, starving and broken, I gave them work, food, and dignity. Every soldier under my command knows exactly who the enemy is, and it's never our own people. Yang Jie wants to be emperor. He'll burn his own citizens alive to get there. I just want my people fed and safe. And if the world has to burn itself down first before it figures out that's the only thing that matters, then let it burn. I'll be here when it's over. So the capital fell. The capital. 200 years of imperial history, and it took the Xia cavalry about 1 hour to crack it open like an egg. Here's what happened, and I pieced this together from reports later, sitting in my very much not burning city, eating my very much not stolen dinner. Yang Jie stood on the walls acting tough. They can't have 80,000. They don't have siege equipment. We just need to hold. All technically correct. Gold star for analysis. F- for execution. Because his own military was so corrupt that the defense supplies were either rotted, stolen, or never existed. The catapults? Not assembled. The logs? Decayed. The weapons budget? In some bureaucrat's second vacation home. Yang Jie grabbed the Minister of War by the throat and screamed, "Where is everything?" And the answer was basically, Then the Xia army pulled out something I actually have to respect from a pure engineering standpoint. Though I hate everything else about it. They used special iron chains made from high-grade steel. And yes, those were imported from MY factories, which means the Xia bought my steel and used it to destroy the Qian capital. I should probably feel bad about that. I don't. Business is business. Also, nobody told me they were making siege chains. They hammered these chains into the drawbridge, hooked them to hundreds of warhorses, and just pulled. The entire drawbridge ripped off like a band-aid. Then they did the same thing to the actual gate. Punched 100 chains into the copper-plated doors and had 1,000 horses yank simultaneously. The gate didn't open. It got torn apart. Chunks of copper and wood ripped away, leaving holes everywhere. Then they brought battering rams and smashed through the weak spots. 1 hour. From first arrow to open gate. 1 hour. Yang Jie's son Yang Tao was screaming orders the whole time, slashing anyone who hesitated. When the gate fell, his tough guy act evaporated instantly. "Dad, we gotta run. Let's go to Bianjing. We can come back." Yang Jie, the man who wanted to be emperor, didn't even look back at the city, grabbed the puppet Emperor Zhao Yi, threw him in a carriage, and bolted out the north gate. Other officials tried to climb onto the carriage. Yang Tao literally stabbed them off. "Get away from us. But I'm your loyal supporter." Stab. "I've served you for 20 years. Stab. Great leadership. Really inspiring stuff. Running away while cutting down your own allies who are begging for a ride. This is the ruling class of Great Qian, everybody. Give them a round of applause." Behind them, the city descended into hell. Xionglei's cavalry poured through the gates, and he gave his men permission to loot and pillage to relieve their stress. Like the capital was a spa day with extra murder. Officials who didn't escape fast enough were on their knees, kowtowing, begging for mercy. The same officials who'd been barking orders and whipping soldiers an hour ago. Funny how fast, "I'll kill your whole family," turns into, "Please don't hurt me, sir." Xiongli walked into the imperial palace, climbed the steps to the throne room, and sat down on the dragon throne. Just sat down. A foreign general. On the seat of 200 years of emperors. Tell Jiang Xin to come to the capital. That's it. That's how the great Qin dynasty effectively ended. Not with a bang. Not with a heroic last stand. With a guy who pulled the door off with horses, walked in, and sat on the fancy chair. And me? I was in northern Liang. Probably reviewing agricultural reports. Maybe playing with Huan. Definitely not conquering anything. But let me point something out. The steel in those siege chains? Mine. The diplomatic misunderstanding that started this war? Mine. The rescue of the Prince of Duan that destabilized Yang Jie's coronation plans? Mine. The refugee crisis that hollowed out the empire's manpower? Partially mine. I took all the good ones. I didn't fire a single shot. I didn't send a single soldier. And the capital of the most powerful empire on the continent just got sacked because 2 foreign nations were angry at me and attacked the wrong guy. I am the butterfly that flapped its wings and caused a hurricane on the other side of the world. Except the butterfly is eating dumplings and has no idea the hurricane happened. So the capital fell and the entire world lost its mind. The news hit like a meteor. White Jade capital, conquered. The Empress, missing. Yang Jie, fled like a rat. The great Qin Empire, finished. Done. Kaput. 200 years of history ended in an afternoon because 2 foreign countries got mad at me and attacked the wrong guy. Within 2 weeks, warlords popped up everywhere like mushrooms after rain. Rebel armies, militia groups, self-proclaimed kings. Everyone with a sword and 3 friends suddenly thought they could rule the world. Total chaos. And then Xiongli, sitting on the stolen throne in MY Empire's capital, made his big move. He announced to the entire continent, "Lu Yuan, county magistrate of northern Liang, you have 1 month to release Princess Yongle, Princess Changle, General Li Quniong, General Chun Yuan, General Pashan, and return the Great Xia Pass. If you don't, we massacre every single person in the capital. 1 million civilians. Dead. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know who I am. Who's Lu Yuan? Northern Liang. That dump? A county magistrate did all this. I went from file not found to most wanted man on the continent in about 48 hours. Beautiful. Meanwhile, Yang Jia, that cockroach, somehow survived. He speed ran to Bianjing, tricked open the gates, seized control of the local military, and went from 8,000 fleeing soldiers to 60,000 troops overnight. The man is evil, but you gotta respect the hustle. His son Yang Tao asked, "Who is this Lu Yuan?" Yang Jia finally put it together. He's real. He wiped out the barbarians, captured 2 foreign generals, 2 princesses, breached the unbreakable fortress, and took 50,000 prisoners. He's been doing this for years, and we never noticed. Why didn't we know? Because his file doesn't exist in our system, and Zhang Wei never answered our letters. Yang Tao came up with a scheme. Publicly blame Zhang Wei for everything. The capital falling, the war, the foreign invasion. Pin it all on the traitor Zhang Wei and his puppet Lu Yuan. Force Zhang Wei to come explain himself under imperial orders. If he refuses, he's officially a rebel. If Xiong Lei follows through on the massacre threat and Zhang Wei doesn't hand over the prisoners, nobody will want to follow him. Yang Jia stroked his beard. My son is clever. Your son stabbed his own allies off a getaway carriage. But sure, clever, works. Now, over in Tongzhou, Zhao Jianjia was having a terrible month. She'd attacked Zhongzhou trying to expand, but it was a disaster. The drought had emptied every town of useful people. All that was left were entrenched rebel gangs who'd already stripped the land bare. She wasted troops, stretched her supply lines, gained nothing, and now she was running out of food. 2 choices. Attack the heavily fortified Tongzhou capital. No siege equipment, no advantage, maybe 30% chance of success, or come crawling back to me for supplies. She laughed bitterly at herself. Back to Northern Liang already? It's only been a month. I look so incompetent. Then she said something that actually made me proud when I heard it later. What right do I have to care about appearances? If I want to change my fate, I have to accept it first. Throw away your pride. The pride you pick back up after is the only kind worth having. She was growing fast. Then the prince burst in with the news about the capital. She read the report. Her fists clenched so hard her knuckles went white. Those useless idiots. The capital could withstand 1 million soldiers for a month. They lost it to 100,000 in 1 hour. They're criminals. History will judge them all. Then she read about the hostage threat. 1 million civilians. 1 month deadline. Hand over my prisoners, or everyone dies. Her eyes went red. I'm going to Northern Liang. I'll make Lu Yuan release them. The prince asked the obvious question. What if he says no? Then I'll make him say yes. If I have to kneel in front of him to save 1 million people, I'll kneel. And she was out the door, heading straight for me. Again. So let me get this timeline straight. A foreign army is occupying my nation's capital, threatening to slaughter 1 million people unless I personally give back their stuff. My not wife is racing toward me ready to literally prostrate herself. My dad is running a fake religious uprising 3 provinces away. Yang Jia is rebuilding his power base and blaming me for everything. And half the continent now knows my name. All because I was a county magistrate who refused to die quietly in a desert. You know what the funniest part is? I still haven't done anything aggressive. I defended my home. I took in refugees. I built greenhouses. I conquered 1 fortress that attacked me first. Everything else, the diplomatic crisis, the misunderstanding, the war, the fall of the capital, happened because other people couldn't figure out who I was or what I was doing. I'm the eye of the hurricane, perfectly calm, while everything around me is being ripped apart. She's coming. And when she gets here, she's going to ask me to give up prisoners, territory, and leverage to save people I've never met in a city I've never visited. And the worst part? I already know what my answer is going to be, because I'm a sucker, and she knows it. So while the world was literally on fire, I was doing what every responsible leader does at year-end, sitting through PowerPoint presentations. Well, not PowerPoint. We haven't invented that yet, but the ancient equivalent. People standing up and reading numbers at me while I try not to fall asleep. Except I wasn't sleeping. This stuff actually matters. It was annual review time in northern Lyon, and I'd built a proper government building because the old office was basically a closet. Now every department is under one roof. Need the agriculture guy? Down the hall. Commerce chief? Next door. No more sending carrier pigeons across town to ask someone a question. First up, Xia Yuan from Commerce. This woman delivered. 30 million silver taels in revenue this year. Applause. 8 million stones of grain imported. Louder applause. 20,000 cattle. 30,000 sheep. 2,000 horses. 8,000 donkeys. 120,000 chickens. We are literally buying animals by the tens of thousands. My logistics team is insane. And the result? My people, who used to be the most malnourished population on the continent, now eat an average of 20 pounds of meat per year. 30 if you count eggs and fish. That's approaching modern civilization levels, and we're doing it in a frozen mountain basin surrounded by enemies. Am I bragging? Yes, because nobody else on this continent can say that. Empires with 10 times my land can't feed their people half as well. The capital just fell partly because their military budget was being embezzled. Meanwhile, my chickens have a higher quality of life than most imperial soldiers. Then came the part one was dreading. Johann stood up. Agriculture department. This man is the real deal. Dark skin, weathered face, hands like tree bark. Former farmer who got everything stolen by corrupt officials and tax collectors until he literally couldn't survive anymore. Came to northern Lyon with nothing. I gave him a job. He gave me everything he had. But the numbers weren't good. 80,000 acres total. 90,000 stones of grain and 10,000 stones of vegetables produced this year. He paused. His voice cracked. I failed to meet the target. Last year I promised 120,000 stones of grain and 12,000 of vegetables. We fell short by almost a quarter. I'm ashamed. Please punish me. The room went dead silent. Every department had smashed their targets. Commerce, crushed it. Military, dominated. Construction, ahead of schedule. And then agriculture, the one department I've been screaming about being the most important, missed for the third year in a row. Everyone was staring at me. Nyohan's brother, Nyo Dajin, who usually can't shut up, was sitting there spinning a pencil and saying nothing. Smart man. Even he knew this wasn't the time. Look, I get it. Our land is garbage. Northern Lyon is a frozen basin. 70% of the new farmland is literally carved into mountainsides. We're growing food on cliffs. The soil is poor, the climate is hostile, and no amount of willpower changes geography. But I can't let it slide. Not because I'm cruel. Because if our food imports get cut off, and with the world going insane right now, that's a win, not an if. We need to feed nearly 2 million people from our own dirt. And right now, we can't. Finish your report, I said. Stone cold. We'll discuss consequences after. Everyone straightened their spines so fast you could hear vertebrae clicking. Meanwhile, completely unbeknownst to me, Zhao Jinjia had just arrived in northern Lyon. 3 days of non-stop riding through freezing winter. She walked into the city looking half dead, ducked into a tea house to warm up with ginger tea because she refused to let me see her looking pathetic, and started eavesdropping on my citizens bragging about their year-end bonuses and new clothes. Her bodyguard Grape asked, "How does such a tiny place feed so many people?" Zhao Jinjia explained my entire economic model. The trade networks, the grain imports, the livestock breeding, the merchant spies planted in foreign nations, like she'd been studying me, which she has. This woman knows more about my GDP than some of my own department heads. Grape almost said, "He really is incredible, if only he could." Stop. Don't finish that sentence. Don't ever bring it up again. She still won't admit it. She's racing across a frozen continent to beg me for help. She knows my entire economic structure by heart. She's carrying a gun with my name on it, and she still won't say the words. But she's here. Again. At my door. Again. And I'm in a meeting yelling at my agriculture minister about crop yields. Romance is dead, folks. It was killed by insufficient grain production. So Johann was standing there looking like a man waiting to be executed. Nearly 7 feet tall, built like an ox, voice cracking like a 12-year-old about to cry. This absolute unit of a farmer was terrified that I was going to fire him over crop numbers. But then he kept talking. And the more he talked, the more I realized this man wasn't failing. He was performing miracles. New grain seed, Shinong number 3, successfully developed and tested. Grows 120 pounds per acre even in terrible soil. New fertilizer? Researched and tested, 30% yield increase. 6,000 meters of irrigation channels built. 12,000 acres of garbage land converted into usable farmland. 1,000 new agriculture students recruited. 600 graduated. This man was doing the work of 5 departments while beating himself up for not hitting an impossible number. So I did the math out loud. For everyone, Northern Liang is 80% mountains, 10% water, 10% farmland. It's the worst agricultural land on the entire continent. Half our fields are literally on mountainsides. 2/3 are classified as poor soil. And you're pulling 110 pounds per acre out of that. Everyone went quiet. The best farmland near the capital produces 200 pounds per acre. The richest land in the south gets 300. Our worst land, carved into cliffs, frozen half the year, is producing what the capital's good land produces. And your new seed strain? On proper soil, that would break 300 pounds per acre. That's not just impressive, that's a national treasure. In ancient times, they'd call you Shinnong, the god of agriculture himself. Nyohan went from terrified, shocked, emotional, full-on sobbing in about 2 seconds flat. Boss, I'm so ashamed. Ashamed of what? You took rocks and dirt and turned them into food. 90,000 stones of grain grown in the worst conditions imaginable. That's worth more than 900,000 stones from easy land. Because this is our food. Grown by us. In our dirt. You held Northern Liang's rice bowl steady. And you held it well. Then I dropped the real news. We now have Taishan County and Songshan County. Both have better land. 2 million usable acres minimum. Maybe 3 million with the hills. Take everything you learned here, the seeds, the fertilizer, the irrigation, and apply it there. We'll go from importing food to being self-sufficient. Every grain we import after that is just backup. I looked him in the eye. Nyohan, you're not a failure. You're incredible. This giant man, this 7-foot farmer with hands like shovels, cried like a toddler who just got told he's loved. Full ugly crying. Snot and everything. And you know what everyone in the room did? They surrounded him, handed him tissues, patted his back. Xia Yuan stood up first. He crushed it, Xia Hongmei. Obviously he completed the mission. Someone else, Nyohan, stop being so hard on yourself. We literally can't eat without you. His brother Nyo Dajin, who'd been silent this entire time, finally looked up and gave him a small smile. That one smile said more than 1,000 words. I announced that all departments met their targets. Bonuses for everyone. But I warned them, next year would be harder. The empire has fallen. Chaos is spreading. We need to keep pushing. Submit next year's targets within 3 days. Then go enjoy the new year with your families. Meeting adjourned. The room exploded in applause. This is why I do what I do. Not the conquering. Not the politics. Not the scheming. This. A farmer who thought he was worthless learning that he's the most important person in the room. A team that lifts each other up instead of tearing each other down. People who came to me starving and broken, now standing tall and proud because they built something together. Yang Jie can have his stolen thrones. Xiong Lei can sit in his looted palace. I have Nyohan and his magic seeds. I'll take that trade any day. Then Red Lady sidled up to me after the meeting. Boss, the madam is here. My heart did a backflip. Zhao Jinjia? When did she arrive? A while ago. She didn't want to interrupt your meeting. I had sent her a letter recently. No response. I figured she was done with me. Thought maybe she'd be too proud to come back so soon. Figured Huan Huan would spend New Year without her mom. But she came. She actually came. Red Lady watched me practically skip out the door and shook her head. She thinks Zhao Jinjia is using me. And honestly, she's probably not wrong. But Red Lady also swore that if Zhao Jinjia ever hurts me, she'd make her pay, even if it cost her own life. That woman carries a sword bigger than most people, and she means every word. I pretend not to know about that particular promise. I walked into my courtyard and stopped. Zhao Jinjia was there, playing with Huan Huan. My daughter was laughing, that pure, bell-like laugh that makes everything else in the world disappear. And her mother was chasing her around the yard, smiling, looking more relaxed than I'd ever seen her. Just the two of them. In my home. In my courtyard. Snow falling softly around them. And standing there, watching them, I thought, this is what I've been wanting. This is what all of it is for, not the empire. Not the army. Not the million people or the trade deals or the grain reserves. Just my daughter laughing and her mother smiling in a place where nobody can hurt them. I'm going to protect this, whatever it costs, whatever she asks me to do. Even if she's about to ask me to give up prisoners and territory to save a million strangers. Because that's the kind of idiot I am. The kind who watches his daughter play in the snow and decides the entire world is worth saving just so she can keep laughing like that. Daddy's home. My little missile launched herself into my arms the second I walked through the gate. I scooped her up and rubbed my stubbly chin against her cheek until she was giggling so hard she could barely breathe. Why are you outside in this cold? I was waiting for you. I wanted to be the first one to greet Daddy, my heart. My heart. This child is weaponized cuteness. Scientists could study her and still not understand how one tiny person can generate this much warmth. Then I looked up. Zhao Jinjiao was standing there, in my courtyard. Again. I thought you weren't coming for New Year. She looked away, guilty. It's not just for New Year. I have other business. Sure you do. Other business. That's what we're calling it now. The woman rode 3 days through a blizzard, but it's definitely about business. But you know what? I didn't care why she came. She came. Huan was happy. That was enough. Inside, the house was alive. Mom was running the kitchen like a general commands a battlefield. She'd completely taken over all cooking since arriving. Not because she loves cooking that much, but because she's terrified someone might poison the food. She never said it out loud. Never asked me a single question about Northern Liang's politics or power structure. But she knows. She sees the city, the army, the people bowing. She understands exactly what her son is. And she protects him the only way a mother can, by making sure nobody touches his dinner. Lu Yong was carrying steaming dishes out of the kitchen. The kid was dark now, sun-baked, work-hardened, all that soft bookworm energy completely gone. He goes back to Taishan County every 5 days. Lives with the construction workers, eats what they eat, does what they do. Even Chow, the advisor, said the workers respect him. Right now, he's leading crews through the snow, digging the foundation for a massive canal I'm planning. Once I take the Great Jing Pass, I want to dig a river that circles all of northern Liang. Lu Yong already carved out several hundred meters of it. In winter, through frozen dirt. That's my brother. Lingji had panda eyes from studying too late. I've yelled at her about it multiple times. She ignores me every time. Typical little sister energy. Huan, my angel, went around the table personally serving rice to everyone. 4 years old and already the most helpful person in this household. Zhao Jinjia just stood there looking lost. Like she didn't know where she fit. What are you doing standing around? Grab a bowl. Oh, she snapped out of it. Ma'am, let me help. No, sit down. Just one more dish, braised pork belly. Your favorite. Zhao Jinjia froze. She'd mentioned once that she likes braised pork. One time. And Mom remembered. Mom noticed. Mom cooked it for her. I could see it happening. That thing Zhao Jinjia does where her defenses crack for half a second before she stitches them back up. She was thinking about her own mother, who's dead. And here's a woman she barely knows, treating her like a daughter, remembering her favorite food, piling her bowl so high with meat she couldn't see over it. Enough. I really can't eat any more. Whatever you can't finish, Lu Yuan will eat. Just pick the best pieces for yourself and give him the rest. He eats like a horse. I don't mind leftovers. I grinned. She rolled her eyes at me. But she didn't say no. She didn't push the bowl away. She just ate. With my family. At my table. Like she belonged there. Mom told her to stay through New Year. Mentioned that my old stubborn husband was in Tongzhou working for the Empress. Told Zhao Jinjia to look him up if she's ever in trouble out there. I already had Xiao Yuan write him a letter. Zhao Jinjia looked panicked. Because she knows my dad. She's his boss. She's the Empress he's serving. And here's his wife casually saying, he's a good man, a bit stubborn, but he'll take care of you. The layers of deception in this family dinner could fill a novel. My dad works for a woman who is secretly his daughter-in-law. My mom is feeding said daughter-in-law braised pork belly while recommending her own husband as a bodyguard, and nobody knows the full picture except Zhao Jinjia, who looks like she might throw up from guilt. Then she dropped the bomb. Right there, at the dinner table, with rice still in everyone's bowls. The capital has fallen. The Xia army conquered it. Xiong is threatening to massacre 1 million civilians unless you release the prisoners and return to the Great Xia Pass. The entire region, 10 million people, is at risk. I'm begging you to help. I looked at her. She chose this moment on purpose. With Mom here. With the family here. She was hoping they'd pressure me. I didn't react. I calmly wiped Juan's mouth with a napkin. Hey baby, want Red Lady to teach you how to play flying chess? Yeah. My daughter kissed my cheek, looked at me with those giant sparkly eyes, and whispered, Daddy, be gentle with Mommy, okay? You promised you'd protect us both, this kid. This 4-year-old just peer pressured me more effectively than 2 foreign empires combined. I flicked her nose and sent her off with Red Lady. Then, like clockwork, everyone vanished. Mom, I'm full. You two take your time, Lu Yong. We have homework, Lingji. Yeah, homework. They cleared out faster than Yang Jie fleeing the capital. In 5 seconds, it was just me and her. She sat there, tense, waiting for me to respond about the million hostages. I picked up my chopsticks, slowly selected a piece of braised pork, chewed it, swallowed. Then I said, You didn't really think my mom was going to take your side on this one, did you? Are you really this heartless? What hat are you wearing right now? Empress's ambassador? Or Juan's mother? Both. Great. Then why did you bring this up at dinner? In front of everyone? You want to talk politics? Go to my office. This is home. Our daughter was happy. Did you have to ruin it? She flinched. Good. I was angry. Not because she asked. I knew she would. I've known about the capital for 8 days already. But she deliberately waited until my mom and family were present, hoping they'd guilt-trip me into agreeing. She went on the offensive. Aren't you a citizen of Great Qian? Your people are dying because of you. Millions of lives. I couldn't even eat knowing what's happening. Is this your idea? The Empress's? Or did my father put you up to this? Because if I say no, are you going to use him as leverage? The room went cold. I said it calmly, but she heard the ice. And here's the thing. I could see it in her eyes. She had thought about using my dad as a bargaining chip. Maybe not consciously, but the thought was there. She denied it. Said the Empress didn't even tell my dad about the capital falling. Said the Empress isn't the kind of person you think she is. Oh, and fun fact I discovered later, she'd been intercepting my letters to Dad. Because my letters mentioned her and Juan, and if Dad read them, he'd figure out who she really was. So she just stole my mail. This woman stole my mail and is standing here talking about trust. I'm not here to threaten you, she said. I'm here to ask. Fine. Let's talk business then. If I release the prisoners, I lose all leverage. As long as they're in my hands, Xiong Lei won't actually massacre anyone. The hostages are his bargaining chip. He won't destroy them. But what if he does? I took in all those refugees to build my strength. Why would I give that away? Because saving them earns you something money can't buy, gratitude. Every survivor remembers who saved them. People don't remember who gave them sunshine and rain. They just complain about the weather. She looked like she wanted to bite me. Literally sink her teeth into my neck. Then she pulled out the nuclear option. What if I pay you 10 million silver taels? For the lives of everyone in the capital, my face darkened. That money was for you and Juan. You gave it to me. It's mine now. 10 million isn't nothing. Even for Northern Liang. Deal rejected. You're impossible. Business requires willing parties. You can't force a sale, then tell me what you want. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. Anything. And then, she felt my eyes move over her. Slowly, deliberately. I watched her understand what I was implying. I watched her face go through 5 stages of grief in 2 seconds. I watched a woman who is secretly an empress decide to lower herself to the level of, in her own words, a brothel girl waiting to be picked. She straightened up, pushed her hair behind her ear, looked me in the eye with tears she refused to let fall. Fine. I agree. Don't agree so fast. Let me finish. She braced herself. I meant, stay in Northern Liang. Permanently. Be my wife. Be Juan's mother. Stop running off to play rebel leader. That's my price. You're out of your mind. That's even worse. Interesting. You'd rather sleep with me than live with me. Is being my wife really that repulsive? She went silent. Because I was right, and she knew it. She'd accept a one-night transaction over a lifetime commitment. She'd sell her body before she'd give up her crown. And that actually hurt more than anything she could have said. She recovered with a low blow. Your father stayed with the Empress. You told him to come to Northern Liang, and he refused. Are you any different from me? You want to force your worldview on everyone else. Damn it. She got me. Dad is doing the exact thing she's doing. Choosing loyalty to the Empress over comfort with family. If the Empress actually succeeds someday, what happens to me? Does Dad show up and say, "Hey son, bow to this woman"? Do I just obey? If I become the Song Jiang of this story, the rebel who surrenders to the government for a pat on the head, my people will rightfully kill me. You came to me, not the other way around. These are my terms. Take them or leave them. I stood up, dropped my chopsticks. I've got all the time in the world. Lu Yuan, you bastard. Yeah, well, no matter what I do, it'll never be as important as one word from your precious Empress. You're the loyal patriot. I'm the rebel scum. Being called a bastard is pretty on brand. I walked out. Behind me, I heard crying. Real crying. Not the manipulative kind. The broken kind. The kind where someone has run out of pride and options simultaneously. I told myself, don't turn around. If you fold now, she'll use this trick forever. Every time the Empress needs something, she'll send Zhao Jinjia to cry at you. You'll spend the rest of your life being emotional blackmail's favorite target. It's like a woman cheating on you. Except the other, man, is an entire collapsing government. Stay strong, Lu Yuan. Then she ran after me and hugged me from behind, arms around my waist, face buried in my back, tears soaking through my shirt. Please, I'm begging you, help me. Those innocent people, they're so helpless. I know I have no right to negotiate. I know everything you did. The barbarians, the fortress, the princesses, those are your achievements, not your fault. But I have nobody else to turn to. You're the only person in the world who can save them. Just this once. Please. My shirt was soaked. Her hands were trembling. My heart was shaking. I didn't turn around, but I didn't walk away either. I just stood there, the most powerful man in northern Liang, frozen in place by a crying woman who won't marry him, but will beg him to save a country that isn't his. You know what the worst part is? I already know I'm going to say yes. I knew before she even showed up. I knew from the moment I heard about the hostages. I just needed to hear her ask, not as the Empress's agent, not as a political strategist, as her, as the woman standing in my kitchen, crying into my back, saying, please, like she actually means it. And she did, and my heart won't stop shaking. I am so bad at this. I turned around, and there she was, face like a rain-soaked pear blossom, tears streaming, looking so broken that my chest physically hurt. I've never begged anyone. My whole life, no matter how hard things got, I never asked for help. But right now, only you can save those people. Something inside me just collapsed. All that tough guy negotiation garbage I'd been pulling, gone, evaporated, replaced by one overwhelming thought. I made this woman cry. I am the worst. I pulled her into my arms, sighed directly into her ear. I'm guilty. I deserve to die. Please stop crying. She panicked. I didn't say you were guilty. I wasn't blaming you. And then she cried harder because she thought she'd accidentally hurt my feelings while begging for my help. This woman's emotional processing is like a broken washing machine. Everything just spins faster. Good wifey, sweet wifey, please stop crying. I'll agree to everything, okay? What if you change your mind later? Whoever breaks their word is a turtle egg. I'll even kowtow to you if you want. Then kowtow. She actually said it. So I started going down, knees bending, heading for the floor, and she grabbed me to stop me. But I'm 6 feet of solid muscle and she's not. So I pulled her down with me, and we both crashed to the ground. Her, on top of me, faces inches apart, breathing the same air. She stopped crying instantly, eyes wide, heart pounding. I could literally feel it against my chest. I was holding her waist. She was frozen. Classic romantic moment. If you're still angry, just hit me. Who wants to hit you? My hands would get dirty. She tried to get up. I held her tighter. She looked down, saw me grinning like an idiot, and her face went from sad to furious in 0 seconds. She grabbed the soft flesh on my side and twisted, like she was trying to unscrew a bottle cap made of my skin. OWWW. Honey, that's... Ow, 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 let go. Who's your honey? You and your dog mouth? I released her. She scrambled up like the floor was on fire. Tears. Gone. Sad face. Gone. Back to Ice Queen mode in 2 seconds flat. Women are terrifying. I rubbed my bruised side. You know, that's a very important area for your future happiness. If you break it, you'll be the one crying. She glared at me with the heat of 1,000 suns. Then, from behind the wall, Then, Juan, sweetie, this isn't something you should hear. Forget everything that just happened. Then, thud, my brother falling over something. Then Lingji's voice. Big brother is so embarrassing, saying stuff like that in the open. They were all watching. My mom, my brother, my sister, and my 4-year-old daughter. Nobody had actually left. They were hiding around the corner the entire time like it was dinner theater. Zhao Jianjia's face turned the color of a tomato that got embarrassed by a more embarrassed tomato. Lu Yuan, I'm not done with you. And she ran. Full sprint. Back to her room. Slammed the door. I stood there, side aching, pride wounded, surrounded by my snickering family, thinking, I just agreed to release military prisoners worth more than most kingdoms, and somehow I'm the one who lost this negotiation. Meanwhile, in her room, Zhao Jinjia was having a complete meltdown, face buried in blankets, kicking her feet, replaying every humiliating moment. That dog, he did it on purpose. He made me angry first, then played the hero, so I'd be grateful. It was all calculated. I fell for it like an idiot. She wasn't wrong, but she also wasn't right. I didn't plan any of it. I just can't handle her crying. It's my kryptonite. She cries and my brain turns to mush. Half an hour later, she calmed down and had a horrible realization. She'd run away before actually confirming the deal. What if I changed my mind overnight? She needed it locked down. Now. So at like 11 p.m., she marched to my room and knocked. Lu Yuan. It's me. Can I come in? I said yes. She opened the door and walked into me doing my nightly workout. Shirtless. 20-pound iron bar. Full rep. Sweat rolling down muscles that. And I'm quoting the look on her face here. She apparently found somewhat acceptable. She froze. Eyes went wide. Brain went somewhere far away. Look, I'm not going to pretend I didn't know what I was doing. I work out every night. I could have put on a shirt when she knocked. I chose not to. Because I am a petty man. And if she's going to twist my love handles until they bruise, I'm going to remind her exactly what those love handles are attached to. She just stood there, staring, mouth slightly open. 5 years ago, she saw this body once. Apparently, it left an impression. And 5 years of military training, brick carrying, and empire building have only improved the product. You gonna come in or just stand in the doorway? She didn't answer. She was too busy looking at my abs. She's not entirely wrong. But in my defense, she started it by twisting my skin off. She snapped out of her trance and went nuclear. Put your clothes on, you pervert. I'm exercising. Got 100 reps left. Wait over there. She was stuck. Couldn't leave. Needed to seal the deal. Couldn't stay because a shirtless man was swinging a 20-pound iron bar 3 feet away from her. She gritted her teeth, walked in, poured herself tea, and sat down with the body language of someone defusing a bomb. I could feel her sneaking glances at my back. I have what experts would call a wasp waist with an ape back. Basically, I look incredible from behind. Not bragging, just facts. She was muttering under her breath, dogman. Exhibitionist, while absolutely not looking away. I finished my reps, walked over, and closed the door. What are you doing? It's cold. I need to rest, and then take a bath. Can't exactly leave the door open for that. Can you have some modesty? You've seen everything already. What's there to be shy about? If looks could kill, I'd have died 17 times from that glare alone. She demanded to know if my promise still stood. I said yes. She wanted to finalize terms tonight. I said let's do it tomorrow. She threatened to cry in public and tell everyone I was bullying her. This woman went from imperial dignity to, I'll throw a tantrum in your yard, in one conversation. And somehow, I found it adorable. I walked behind the bathing screen and got in the tub. Hot water. Bliss. I may have groaned a little louder than necessary. Want to join me? Lu Yun. Through the semi-transparent screen, she could see my silhouette. I could see hers, sitting ramrod straight on a chair, vibrating with fury. Okay, time to get serious. Kind of. I told you I won't abandon those people. I meant it. But I'm not releasing the prisoners. Think about it. If I hand them over just because Xiong Lei threatens a massacre, what happens next time? He asks me to open my gates? Surrender? Become a Xia Duke? Where does it end? I won't let you become a Xia or Jing vassal. Why not? I'd get high autonomy. Pretty sweet deal, because I'm Huanhuan's mother. Your daughter is a Qian citizen. You can't betray your own country. That reason. I'll accept. I sighed. Now can you stop standing so far away? Come closer. Talking across a room is exhausting. And oh, remember, I can change my mind anytime I want. You're shameless. But she dragged a chair to the screen. Behind the screen. Don't push it, Zhao Jinjia. If I release those prisoners, my soldiers died for nothing. I can't face my people. If I don't release them, I have to expand military operations and force Xiong layout. That means more war, more resources burned, more of MY people dying. Who pays for that? You're asking me to sacrifice Northern Liang citizens to save Great Qin citizens. Saving 1 million is noble, but my soldiers' lives aren't worth less just because there's fewer of them. Sacrifice the few for the many is villain logic. She went quiet, because she couldn't argue with that. She moved behind the screen, averted her eyes from the tub. I was enjoying this way too much. You're right, she said quietly. I'm not wrong either. Then who is wrong? The more I think about this deal, the worse it gets for me. No wife, you won't stay. No benefit, you're broke. And now I'm cleaning up the Empress's mess for free? I'm basically a janitor for a government that hates me. Don't say it like that. Oh, now you're defending her again? The Empress is more important than me and our daughter? If she told you to die, would you? You're a grown man being jealous of a woman. That's incredibly petty. So what? Women can like women too. It's 2026 in ancient China. I don't judge. She almost laughed. I saw it. The corner of her mouth twitched. She was thinking, if he knew I am the Empress, his face would be priceless. Yeah, well, I'll figure that out eventually, and then we'll see who's laughing. Fine, she said, composing herself. What do you want so you don't feel cheated? I looked at her, stroked my chin, made a big show of thinking. Scrub my back. That what? You heard me. Scrub my back. That's the fee for saving 1 million people. Lu Yuan. How dare you? Do you think I'm a prostitute? A servant? No deal? Cool. Those people in the capital can die then. Not my problem. Doors that way. Pretend you never came. I leaned back in the tub and closed my eyes. Silence. Now look. Am I being a jerk? Yes. Absolutely. 100%. But here's my logic, and it's airtight. She won't stay. She won't marry me. She won't even admit she likes me. Every time she shows up, it's because she needs something. And the second I give it, she disappears. If I just say yes every time, I'm not her partner. I'm her ATM. Her emergency hotline. Her break glass in case of national emergency button. So yeah, I asked her to scrub my back. Not because I actually need someone to scrub my back. I have 2 perfectly functional arms. But because I need her to cross a line. To do something she considers beneath her dignity. For me. Not for the Empress. Not for the Empire. For me. Is it petty? Absolutely. Is it working? I'll let you know in about 30 seconds. Because she hasn't left the room yet. And the fact that she hasn't left, that means she's thinking about it. She didn't leave. I knew she wouldn't leave. She stood there wrestling with her pride for about 10 seconds, then said the magic words. If I scrub your back, you swear you'll help? Believe it or don't. Women who want to scrub my back line up from the east gate to the north gate. She looked like she wanted to stab me with the nearest sharp object. But she forced herself calm. Deep breath. Internal pep talk. It's just scrubbing. You saw everything 5 years ago anyway. It's fine. Turn around. I'm not looking at your front. Full service. Front and back. Don't push your luck. I put the towel over my eyes. No scrub. No deal. Door's right there. Silence. Then, cold, trembling fingers touched my arm. The instant her skin made contact, I could tell she wanted to teleport to another dimension. Her movements were so stiff, she might as well have been a robot programmed by someone who'd never touched a human before. Are you scratching an itch? Put some muscle into it. I'll scrub you to death, you turtle. Ah, that's the stuff. I could hear her grinding her teeth, so hard I'm worried about her dental bills. With the towel over my eyes, I was sparing her from my gaze. Small mercy. I'm a gentleman like that. Meanwhile, her hands moved down from my arms to my collarbone, then lower, and I could literally feel her heartbeat speed up through her fingertips. She was staring at my abs. I know she was. I don't need to see it to know it. The sudden pause, the slight tremble, the way her breathing changed. This woman was having a moment with my midsection and pretending she wasn't. Then I pulled the towel off my face. Our eyes met from inches away. Cover your eyes. Don't look at me. You're so beautiful. How can I not look? Your maids are all prettier than me. Go look at them. You're the most beautiful. The more I look, the more I want to see. Lu Yuan, I'm warning you. Never going to happen between us. Ever. A man without dreams is just a salted fish. I leaned over the edge of the tub until my face was right in front of hers. One day, I'll make you want to scrub my back. Willingly. Never. She dug her nails into my skin so hard, I nearly launched out of the water like a dolphin. Are you trying to murder your husband? Shut up and turn around. I turned. Then, because I apparently have a death wish, I said, Hey, don't you think Juan is lonely as an only child? Maybe we should give her a sibling. If you were the last man on Earth, it still wouldn't happen. Fine, I'll make babies with someone else then. Dead. Silence. The flirty atmosphere froze solid. Her hands stopped moving. The room temperature dropped 20 degrees. Jinjia, I was kidding. Why would I care? Then she started scrubbing again. Hard. Like she was trying to sand my spine down to the bone. Her nails carved actual trenches into my back. I was hissing in pain, but she wouldn't stop. Finally, she pulled her hands away. I looked at my back. Blood. Actual blood. Claw marks like I'd been attacked by a small, very angry tiger. You done trying to skin me alive? She looked at her own handiwork and went blank for a second, like she didn't understand why she'd just tried to flay me. Jealousy is a fascinating thing when the jealous person doesn't know they're jealous. So, back is scrubbed. Your promise. Now, cold voice. Business mode. Like she hadn't just been running her hands over my body for 10 minutes. You treat all your clients this way? The customer is God. You know, ice. Pure ice from those eyes. Fine. I'm not releasing the prisoners. They've already joined Northern Lyon. They're my people now. I don't send my people to die. Instead, I'll attack the Great Jing Pass. If Xiong Lei doesn't back off, I'll march all the way to his capital. Let's see whose weapons are sharper, his swords or my bullets. Good. But I have one condition. When you attack, I'm coming with you. War isn't a game. Swords and arrows don't care who you are. If I die, that's my problem, not yours. Then she told me something that made my blood run cold and hot at the same time. She joined the Empress's heroine army. She fights with a mask. Uses a code name. She's already killed 132 people. 132. This woman, this same woman who couldn't hold a sword properly 6 months ago, has more confirmed kills than some of my junior officers. I yelled about the Empress. That heartless woman. She's incompetent, so she sends women to fight? Does she know what happens to female soldiers if they're captured? Zhao Jinjia pulled a dagger from her inner thigh. Where was she hiding that? And held it up. This is our glory blade. If we're captured, we kill ourselves. No enemy will ever have the chance to dishonor us. My anger deflated into something heavier. Something that sat in my chest like a stone. She's out there. Fighting. Killing. Carrying a suicide knife strapped to her leg. While I sit in my heated office reviewing agricultural reports. Fine, I said. You can watch the battle. Watch. Not fight. That sounds reasonable. It's not reasonable. Nothing about any of this is reasonable. I'm going to war with the Great Jing because a woman scrubbed my back and cried in my kitchen. My soldiers are going to risk their lives because I can't say no to someone who claims she has zero feelings for me while scratching bloody love letters into my spine. Oh, and she called the Empress heartless and incompetent to my face, defending herself from my criticism of the Empress, which means she insulted herself to maintain her cover. This woman trash-talked her own alter ego just so I wouldn't figure out who she is. I am living in a comedy written by a sadist. If the heroine army ever fights Northern Lyon, would you point your blade at me? She didn't even blink. Yes, I'd capture you, torture you, and give you a chance to surrender. If you refused, I'd kill you myself. I laughed. And if I caught you, I'd put you over my knee and spank you until you gave up. I'd die before I submit to you. This is our version of flirting. Other couples exchange love poems. We exchange detailed descriptions of how we'd murder each other. Very romantic. I wrapped a towel around myself, climbed into bed shirtless, and offered, "It's late. Stay? Be my bed buddy." She looked at my exposed torso, whispered, "Male fox spirit," under her breath, and fled the room. That night, she couldn't sleep. At all. Apparently her brain was replaying the feeling of her fingers on my abs on infinite loop. Her words, not mine. Okay, fine, I'm guessing. But she showed up the next morning with panda eyes, so dark she looked like she'd been punched, so I'm definitely right. Meanwhile, I was out at dawn doing my morning workout in a thin shirt. Stone locks. 50 pounds each. Shirt soaked through, clinging to every muscle. Was I doing this on purpose? Was the sun shining on purpose? Some things are just natural phenomena. She stomped over. When are you attacking the Great Jing Pass? When I decide. Stop rushing me. Then Xia Hongmei showed up with news that made me forget about flexing entirely. Pashan wants to see you. Pashan. The Great Jing Empire's #1 warrior. 9 feet tall. A human siege engine. I captured him years ago and threw him in the labor camp. For years this monster refused to break. Wouldn't kneel, wouldn't talk, wouldn't submit. So I broke him the Lu Yuan way. No torture. No beatings. Something much, much worse. I put a muzzle on his mouth so he couldn't speak. I banned everyone from talking to him. His food was blended into flavorless paste. No chewing, no taste, just calories. His sleeping quarters were a pitch-black box with no windows. Every day, wake up, clean toilets, haul garbage, unclog pipes, go back to the dark room. No conversation, no human contact, no sunlight, no flavor, nothing. For 792 days. That's over 2 years of absolute sensory deprivation while doing the most humiliating jobs imaginable. The greatest warrior in an empire, reduced to a toilet scrubber who eats gray mush in total darkness. Am I proud of this? Not particularly. Is it effective? Let me tell you what happened. We walked into the labor camp. Me, Xia Hongmei, and Zhao Jinjia, who tagged along because she's studying my methods. Sure you are, honey. There he was. 9 feet of broken man. Shaved head. Weathered face. Still massive. Bigger than even my eagle-eye commander. But his eyes? Pure terror. He looked at me like I was a nightmare that had crawled out of his dark room to find him. He dropped. Full prostration. Face in the dirt. Pashan kowtows to the great master. It's been a while, Pashan. 792 days, sir. He'd been counting. Every single day in that dark room, he'd been counting. That's how I knew he was truly broken. He had nothing left except the number of days since he'd last seen sunlight. Made your decision? I will be your ox. Your horse. Whatever you command. Please, he was crying. This giant, this 9-foot killing machine who could punch holes through castle walls, was sobbing in the dirt like a 3-year-old. If I order you to fight Great Jing, your homeland, no hesitation, none. If you try to run, I'll find you. Anywhere. And it'll be 10 times worse. I won't run. I'll never run. Please, just don't send me back to that room. The other Jing prisoners watched this, and their souls left their bodies. Pashan was their hero, their symbol, their reason to keep resisting. If he broke, what hope did they have? Some of them started screaming through tears. General Pashan, you're the greatest warrior in Jing. How can you kneel to a rebel? Stand up? You can't surrender. Pashan's head snapped toward them. And what happened next? Yeah, he stood up, grabbed the loudest protester by the head, and punched him so hard his skull caved in. 1 hit. Dead. Then he grabbed another one by the ankle, lifted him like a rag doll, and slammed him into the ground. Again, and again, and again, until there was nothing left to slam. I said, shut up. Dust everywhere. Blood everywhere. The remaining prisoners went silent so fast you could hear the wind. Zhao Jinjiao watched this, standing next to me. She didn't flinch. The woman who killed 132 people watched a 9-foot giant beat 2 men to death with his bare hands and didn't even blink. But I caught her doing something interesting. She was looking at me, not at Pashan, studying my reaction, trying to understand how I could take a man like that and turn him into this. I didn't explain. Some things don't need explaining. 792 days of darkness, silence, and flavorless paste. That's my method. No blood, no screaming. Just the slow, methodical erasure of everything that makes you human until the only thing left is the desperate need to be anything other than alone. Is it cruel? Yes. Does it work? Pashan is currently wiping brain matter off his fist and asking what I need him to do next. You tell me. Pashan went absolutely feral. After killing those 2, he didn't stop. He charged at more Jing prisoners and started smashing them like a kid stomping anthills. Blood, screaming, chaos everywhere. Zhao Jinjia looked like she might throw up. Not from the violence. She's killed 132 people. She can handle blood. No, she was scared of me. Because she couldn't figure out what I'd done to turn the most fearsome warrior on the continent into a rabid dog that follows my commands. Honestly, fair reaction. Stop, I said it quietly. Not even a shout. Pashan's blood-soaked fist froze an inch from another prisoner's face. The guy wet himself on the spot. Pashan walked back and knelt at my feet like a trained attack dog returning to heel. Do you understand why you ended up like this? Yes. It's Jing's fault, and he was right. 2 years in my labor camp. Nobody came for him. Not once. When Princess Changle visited for the diplomatic summit, nobody mentioned him. When Xiong Lei conquered the capital and made his demands, he wanted the princesses back, wanted Li Quniong back. But Pashan, the man who was Jing's greatest warrior, not even a footnote. That's what broke him. Not my darkroom. Not the flavorless food paste. Not the muzzle. It was finding out his country forgot he existed. Loyalty is fuel. Betrayal is a match. Pashan's tank was full, and Jing lit it on fire. You're free, I told him. You have 1 day. Pick soldiers from the Jing prisoners. Build me a suicide squad, a vanguard unit. Anyone who earns merit gets Northern Liang citizenship. Good food. Good life. I'll even bring their families here. But if I don't see results tomorrow, you're useless. And I don't keep useless things. I won't disappoint you. He was practically screaming with joy. 2 years without speaking. His voice came out raw and wild, like a caged animal hearing the lock click open. In the carriage, Zhao Jinjia asked the obvious question. Aren't you afraid he'll betray you? I caught him once. I can catch him again. Besides, Pashan is the type who commits completely. Before, he was completely loyal to Jing. Now his faith in them is shattered. That energy doesn't disappear. It just changes direction. His hatred for Jing is as strong as his love once was. He killed those men today, and it still wasn't enough to satisfy him. So tonight, I'm letting him take it out on the Great Jing Pass. A night attack? The pass has a river moat. Night assaults against that are impossible. They have a moat. I have a ladder that goes over walls. I smiled mysteriously. What does that mean? I didn't answer. She kept asking. I kept not answering. Her curiosity was eating her alive, and I was loving it. That evening, I made her eat dinner before the battle. Good strategy requires a full stomach. She noticed my spread was pretty fancy and asked if regular citizens eat this well. Meat is cheap in Northern Liang. Vegetables are expensive. Nobody's going hungry. By next year, we'll be completely food independent. Then she tried to buy weapons from me. Again, I know Northern Liang's firearms are the best in the world. Can I buy some? No. What if I pay extra? Not a price issue. I won't let anyone use Northern Liang weapons to kill Qian citizens. Then what can I buy? Arrows. Are you kidding me? Arrows. Everyone makes arrows. What makes yours so special? You sure you don't want them? Absolutely not. I'm not an idiot. Your loss. Don't come crying later. I won't. She will. I guarantee she will. My arrows are not normal arrows. But if she wants to be stubborn, fine. I'll let reality do the convincing. Then I pulled out a massive winter coat and made her wear it. She looked like a human marshmallow. A very angry human marshmallow. I'm not a child. I know when I'm cold. I look like a ball. How am I supposed to fight in this? Wear it or stay home. Pick one. I hate you. One day you'll apologize to me. She waddled after me like a penguin. An adorable, furious penguin with murder in her eyes. But she was warm, and that's all that mattered to me. We reached the staging area with 20,000 troops. The conditions were terrible, freezing cold. The Jing defenders had poured water down their walls, creating a solid sheet of ice. Explosives wouldn't work well. Firearms were jamming from the cold. Not ideal. That's why I'd improved the crossbows and arrows. My modified bolts are devastating at close range, actually more lethal than guns in tight quarters. But Zhao Jinjia had already refused to buy them, so she'll just have to watch and regret her life choices. In the command carriage, I was loading arrows into a repeating crossbow one by one. She leaned over, curious despite herself. Is that the arrow you offered me? It looks nothing like a normal arrow. You said you didn't want them. Stop looking. She sat back, pouting, seething, knowing she'd made a mistake, but too proud to admit it. After a while, she got antsy. How long until the attack starts? I smiled. It already has. You're lying. The attack hasn't started. She looked around at our stationary army like I'd lost my mind. I'm not lying. And since you're here to learn, let me teach you something. So I gave her a lecture. Right there in the command carriage. In the freezing cold. While a battle was apparently happening somewhere. Every war I've fought has been outnumbered. Every single one. So I don't compete on numbers. I compete on brains. When Xia and Jing brought 60,000 troops to my doorstep, They couldn't even reach my walls because I built them taller than their ladders. While they were scrambling to build new ones, I hit them at night. Time difference. Initiative. Thinking. Are you just bragging about yourself? Do I look that shallow? I'm teaching you. You want to learn warfare? Forget textbooks. The same tactic in different hands produces completely different results. The weapon isn't the sword. It's this. I tapped my skull. Ideas and philosophy win wars. She didn't mock me this time. Progress. My philosophy comes from a great man I studied. I was quoting Chairman Mao, but she didn't need to know that. Elite troops. Minimum casualties. Maximum damage. Flexible tactics. Technology-driven. Information-led. Strike the critical points. Despise your enemy strategically. Respect them tactically. Every enemy is a paper tiger. You still haven't told me where your advance force is. I smiled. What if I told you they're already inside the Great Jing Pass? She stared at me. Hard. I believe you. Good. Because I've had agents embedded in Jing territory for years. I mapped that fortress. I ran simulations. I wargamed every possible assault. And my people dug a tunnel. From inside the city. Straight out to us. How did you hide tunnel construction inside a military fortress? Not your concern. Her mind was racing. I could practically hear the gears grinding. The Great Xia Pass is built on granite. You can't dig through that. But Great Jing Pass sits on river soil. Soft. Moist. Tunnel-friendly. And right now, the moat is frozen solid. Troops can walk straight across the ice. Bingo. She didn't know what bingo meant, but she got the point. Being your enemy must be terrifying, she muttered. I call it being prepared. Then, because I can't help myself, I took a shot at her beloved Empress. You know, your Empress is kind of dumb. Tongzhou's soil is soft too. She could dig tunnels under the city walls, build a shielded digging cart, wooden frame, fireproof covering, wheels for hauling dirt. Ancient siege engineers figured this out 1,000 years ago. The Song dynasty had entire catalogs of these machines. Don't call her dumb. Her fist was tightening. But she didn't swing, because she knew I was right. Here's the thing. I genuinely worry about this woman. She's out there fighting with the heroine army. No proper siege equipment. No engineering knowledge. Charging at fortified cities with wooden pitchforks and enthusiasm. One proper cavalry charge, and her entire force gets wiped. She needs walls. She needs a defensible base. She needs Tongzhou's capital. When we get back, I'll draw you the blueprints for a tunnel-digging war cart. Free of charge. Tell the Empress you invented it yourself. Once you have it, you can dig under Tongzhou's walls and take the city from below. She looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Suspicion, gratitude, confusion, and something else all mixed together. How much for the blueprints? Free. Why? Because you and my dad are out there with no safe base. For sides exposed. If a cavalry force catches you in the open, you're dead. Taking Tongzhou means you have walls. Walls mean you survive. You surviving means I sleep better at night. Simple math. I don't want to owe you favors. It's not a favor. It's a gift. I give it because I want to. As long as you're safe, nothing else matters. I said it simply. Honestly. No jokes. No teasing. No shirtless manipulation. She looked into my eyes and just got stuck there, like she'd fallen into them and forgotten how to climb out. For about 5 seconds, this woman, who has told me approximately 900 times that we'll never be together, forgot to breathe while staring into my face. Then she probably remembered she hates me and looked away. But those 5 seconds? I'm keeping those. Filing them away. Adding them to my collection of evidence that Zhao Jianjia is completely in love with me and won't admit it. The collection is getting pretty big. Now back to the war. My tunnel team was already inside the fortress. The moat was frozen. 20,000 troops were positioned and ready. Pashan was probably sharpening his fists somewhere in the dark, ready to unleash 2 years of pent-up rage on the people who abandoned him. The Great Jing Pass had no idea what was coming. And my wife, sorry, my not wife, was sitting next to me, wrapped in a coat so thick she looked like a penguin, secretly grateful for the warmth she'd never admit she needed, holding military knowledge I gave her for free, carrying a gun with my name on it, and trying very hard not to think about my abs. This is the most dysfunctional love story in military history. And the battle hasn't even started yet. Well, actually it has. She just doesn't know it. Zhao Jinjia snapped out of her little eye contact trance and immediately rebooted her firewall. This dog man is trying to manipulate me again. He's a rebel. Everything nice he does has ulterior motives. Yesterday, he kept asking about my rank in the heroin army. He was fishing for intel. I must not fall for his tricks. She straightened up and said, coolly, I didn't ask for free blueprints. But since you're offering, I'll consider it a debt I owe you, whatever you say. I smiled. Awkward silence. She was flustered and trying to hide it. Classic post-almost falling in love recovery behavior. How much longer are we sitting in this freezing carriage? Until we see a fire. Meanwhile, inside the Great Jing Pass, the man responsible for this whole mess, Chancellor Fang Jinghe, was having insomnia. Poor guy. 30,000 troops camped out, running low on food because the court only gave him 1 month of supplies, and he's been sitting here for 2. He was eating through the local garrison's emergency reserves, and the local commander Wang Bai was not happy about it. Fang Jinghe dragged Wang Bai out of bed at midnight to discuss strategy. Wang Bai smiled politely while internally screaming, "You woke me up for this? This couldn't wait until morning. We need to strengthen patrols. Can't let Lu Yuan catch us off guard like he did at the Xia Pass. Already doubled the patrols, sir. Triple even. Airtight. Good. Get some rest." Wang Bai turned to leave. His hand was on the door. Freedom was 3 seconds away. Bang! The door smashed into his face. A panicked officer burst in. "Fire! Everything's on fire," Wang Bai, clutching his nose. "Then go put it out, idiot. Why are you telling me? We can't. The water's frozen. The snow is compacted into ice blocks. And the fire is spreading. It's not an accident. Someone is doing this." They ran outside. The sky was red. Half the city was burning. Fires were erupting in random locations simultaneously, like they had minds of their own. Because they did. My agents were lighting them. Fang Jinghe tried to think clearly. The Xia Pass fell the same way, mysterious fires. This is Lu Yuan's people. We're the scouts. Any enemy forces outside? Nothing, sir. Nobody's out there. That confused him. Fire inside, but no army outside. He ordered everyone onto the walls. Leave the fires. It's a trap. If they come down to fight the flames, that's when I attack. Smart thinking, actually. I'll give him credit. But he was solving the wrong problem. See, here's the thing about my fires. They weren't just fires. I didn't burn buildings because I wanted to destroy property. I burned buildings because of what I put in them. The smoke started drifting. South wind, blowing everything straight at the walls where 30,000 soldiers were standing shoulder to shoulder. At first, just coughing. Normal smoke reaction. Fang Jinghe moved to the upwind side. Then it got worse. People started getting nauseous. Dizzy. Headaches so bad they felt like insects drilling through their skulls. Soldiers dropped to their knees vomiting. Some couldn't breathe. Eyes burning, lungs screaming, legs giving out. I can't breathe. Someone help. My head. It feels like something's eating my brain." Wang Bai covered his mouth with a handkerchief and felt the cold realization crawl up his spine. This wasn't just smoke. The smoke was poisoned. I mixed chemical compounds into the fires. Stuff that creates toxic fumes when burned. Nothing fancy. Basic chemistry applied with extreme prejudice. The freezing wind did the rest, funneling everything right where I needed it. Directly into the lungs of every soldier on that wall. They couldn't fight fires because the water was frozen. They couldn't leave the walls because they expected an attack. They couldn't stay on the walls because the air was literally killing them. And they couldn't run because there was nowhere to go. The fires were inside their own city. Checkmate before a single sword was drawn. Back in my carriage, Zhao Jinjia was staring at the distant red glow on the horizon. "Is that the fire you were waiting for?" I just smiled. She looked at the glow, looked at me, looked at the glow again. "You're terrifying," she whispered. "I prefer thorough." Somewhere inside that burning fortress, Fang Jinghe was having the worst realization of his political career. Attacking the capital to threaten me was the dumbest decision anyone in his government had ever made. They didn't rescue their people. They just gave me a reason to come knocking. And now I was knocking. With poison smoke, underground tunnels, a 9-foot rage monster, and 20,000 troops who hadn't even moved yet. The battle was over before it started. They just didn't know it yet. Wang Bai on the wall figured it out first. "The smoke is poisoned." "Yeah, no kidding, buddy. Took you long enough." By then, half the soldiers on the walls were already on the ground, vomiting, choking, blacking out. The smoke was rolling upward with the wind, hitting the wall defenders hardest because they were standing at the highest point. Basic physics. Hot air rises. Poison hot air rises with attitude. Fang Jinghe was clinging to the battlements like a drowning man. Get me down. I can't breathe. They carried him off the wall. The second he hit fresh air at ground level, his survival instincts kicked in and he started barking orders. Nobody leaves the wall. If they retreat, execute them. If they die up there, I'll ask the Emperor to honor them as heroes. Your life matters. Their lives are acceptable losses. Cool. Very inspirational leadership, Chancellor. Soldiers who tried to climb down were killed for desertion. Civilian laborers were trampled to death by armored men stepping on them to save themselves. The fires kept burning because, surprise, all the water was frozen and the snow had been packed into solid ice blocks nobody could break apart. Wang Bai, however, was doing something interesting. He was thinking. He noticed the toxic smoke was concentrated in specific areas, meaning someone had planted poison sources at calculated points. Enemies inside the walls. Instead of sounding the alarm, he quietly gathered his personal loyalists and sent someone to protect his family. Smart man. He'd already figured out what was coming, and he'd already decided which side he was on, his own. Then the warning bell rang. Enemy attack. Fang Jinghe screamed to barricade the gate tunnel. Sandbags piled up. A wall within a wall. He was not going to let the gate get ripped off like in the capital. Decent move. Except he was defending against the wrong entry point. I had a tunnel, remember? But let's get to the fun part. I stood on top of my command carriage, telescope out, watching the red smoke signal streak across the sky. My inside team had completed their mission. Go. Cross the ice. Attack. Wang Dabiao led the charge. 20,000 troops surging across the frozen moat. Half veterans, half new recruits. I always pair them together. Learn by doing. Sink or swim. Mostly don't sink because the river is frozen. Zhao Jinjia, still bundled in her penguin coat, looked worried. Just charging straight at the wall. Are you sure? Watch. The defenders managed to fire some arrows down at us. Scattered. Weak. Most of them could barely stand, let alone aim. But it was still dangerous. So I gave the order I'd been waiting to give all night. Fire arrows. My soldiers raised their modified repeating crossbows. Pulled the triggers. 10,000 arrows flew into the sky in a beautiful arc. And then they exploded. Boom, 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 boom. The entire wall lit up with detonations. Many explosions tearing through defenders who were already half dead from poison smoke. Shrapnel flying everywhere. More arrows landed inside the city, blowing up supply carriers and sandbag teams. One arrow exploded right next to Fang Jinghe's face. A metal fragment sliced his cheek open. He touched his face, saw blood, and lost what remained of his composure. Retreat. Retreat. The man who just said, anyone who retreats gets executed, was now the first one running. Funny how that works. Wang Bai started running too, but then stopped, turned around, walked back to the panicking Chancellor with a very specific smile. Chancellor, follow me. I know a safe place. Fang Jinghe didn't see the cold glint in Wang Bai's eyes. He just grabbed onto him like a drowning man grabs a life preserver. Yes, take me there. Quickly. Oh, Wang Bai. You beautiful, scheming survivor. I don't know exactly what you're planning, but I have a very good feeling about it. Now, behind me in the carriage, Zhao Jinjia was having a revelation. She heard the explosions. Her brain did the math. Her eyes went wide. Those are arrows. Why are they exploding? What if arrows could explode? Arrows that explode. She grabbed my arm, so hard her nails dug in. The arrows you tried to sell me, they were these? Explosive arrows? Yep. But you said you didn't want them. I'm not an idiot. I believe your exact words were. I want them. I want all of them. I distinctly remember someone saying, absolutely not. I'll never regret it. Name your price. Anything. Nah, don't feel like it. I started walking toward the battlefield. She scrambled after me, penguin coat flapping. Wait, you said you wanted me to willingly scrub your back, right? I'll do it again. Another bath. Is that enough? I stopped walking. This woman, this Empress, who 12 hours ago called me a pervert for being shirtless, who scratched bloody trenches in my back out of spite, who swore she'd rather die than submit to me, just offered to scrub my back voluntarily in exchange for exploding arrows. Yesterday's scrub was coerced. Today's offer is freely given. That's not commerce. That's character development. I turned around slowly, looked at her standing there in her ridiculous puffball coat, face red from cold and embarrassment, fists clenched, jaw set, eyes burning with the determination of a woman who has calculated the military value of explosive arrows versus the personal cost of touching my abs again, and decided the abs were an acceptable trade. I haven't said yes yet. I'm going to let her sweat for about 10 more seconds. Because I'm petty. And because this is the happiest I've been all week. She went all in. I'll scrub your back again. Deal? I looked her up and down with maximum disgust. Hard pass. Your technique is trash and your customer service is worse. Luo Bing is way better. Her eyes went wide. She's your tailor. Why is she scrubbing your back too? Personal tailor/personal assistant. Problem: her husband and child died, and you're taking advantage of her? You're disgusting. Nobody's forcing anybody. It's all voluntary. Also, you're trash-talking the supplier while begging to buy his product. You think I'm Buddha? I don't do charity for rude customers. She caught herself. Reeled it back. Swallowed her pride like a particularly bitter pill. Fine. What do you actually want? Stay in northern Liang through New Year. That's IT. Unless you want to add giving Huan a sibling to the deal. She elbowed me in the chest. Bounced right off my armor. I pretended it hurt anyway because it's funnier that way. Ow. Attempted murder. Again, say that one more time and I'll rip your mouth off. Deal? Stay through New Year, you get the arrows. Shake on it. I'm leaving the day after New Year. Not 1 second later. Sold. While we were bickering like an old married couple, Pashan and the Suicide Squad had already poured through the tunnel into the city and were wreaking absolute havoc. Now let me explain these arrows, because they're kind of my masterpiece. The arrowheads contain smokeless powder, nitrocellulose mixed with nitroglycerin. In the same volume, it's dozens of times more powerful than regular black powder. So each tiny arrowhead hits like a hand grenade. The repeating crossbow fires them by the thousands. No aiming required. Just point vaguely at the wall and pull the trigger. If you're within the blast radius, you're done. I originally developed smokeless powder for my next big project, the Maxim machine gun. Regular black powder jams automatic weapons and creates too much smoke. Smokeless is the future. These exploding arrows are just me field testing the formula. Later I'll swap back to black powder mixed with various poisons for the arrow version. Cheaper, nastier, still lethal. But tonight, full smokeless. Maximum boom. Because I wanted to make a point. Let's move. Our flag is already on their wall. I grabbed Zhao Jinjia's hand. Stay behind me. Don't wander. Understand? She nodded, and, miracle of miracles, actually let me lead her without arguing. We crossed the frozen river and entered the tunnel. Popped up inside a tea house in the middle of the city. You built a tunnel entrance inside a tea house. Ever heard of hiding in plain sight? I pulled out 2 gas masks. One for her, one for me. The smoke was still thick and toxic. She looked at the mask, looked at me, and asked, "What about you?" She asked about me first. Before herself. Filed that one away. Evidence item number 412. We stepped outside into hell. The fortress was a burning wasteland. Bodies everywhere. Smoke rolling through streets. Blood pooling between cobblestones. 5 years of planning, executed in one night. Reports started flooding in. Commander. East, west, and south walls secured. Commander. Advance team captured over a dozen enemy generals. Zhao Jinjia looked around at the apocalypse I'd created with 20,000 troops against 500,000 and asked the most flattering question anyone's ever asked me. Why does war look as easy as eating lunch when you do it? Easy? I planned this for 5 years. You think I just showed up and winged it? Then she said something that genuinely surprised me. No sarcasm. No attitude. Just pure, honest sincerity. Can you teach me how to fight? I'll pay tuition. My heart did a thing. But my mouth said, "What is this, a kung fu romance novel? You want to be my disciple?" Her face twitched. For some reason the novel reference made her nervous. Just tell me. Yes or no? No? Teach the student, starve the master. What if I train you and you turn around and use it against me? I only teach my children. And my wife. In your dreams, see? No sincerity. 2 sentences in and you're already swearing. Good thing I didn't teach you. You'd commit treason against your own master. She pulled out the gun. My gun. The one with my name on it. I flinched. What are you? Killing people. She stormed off, aimed at an enemy soldier, and dropped him with 1 shot. Bang. Clean hit. Oh, so that's how it is? You think you're the only one who can shoot? I yanked both my Mauser pistols from my belt and started blasting. 2 guns. Full speed. Shell casings raining everywhere. Red Lady stood behind us, hand on her forehead, dying inside. These two are having a shooting competition in the middle of a battle. People are dying, and they're treating this like a date. We emptied clip after clip, trying to outkill each other. It was the most aggressively flirtatious thing I've ever done, and I refused to apologize. Then Wang Dabiao jogged up, covered in blood. Commander, victory is complete. All enemy forces surrendered. Also, the local garrison commander Wang Bai captured Chancellor Fang Zhenghe and wants to defect to northern Liang. Red Lady immediately. Could be a trap. I thought about it for 2 seconds. Strip them both naked and bring them to me. I'll be in the tea house. Yes, Commander. Then I walked back into the tea house, had Red Lady brew hot tea, sat down, crossed my legs, and waited for a naked chancellor and a turncoat general to be delivered to me like room service. Zhao Jinjia stared at me sipping tea in the middle of a conquered, burning fortress and looked like she wanted to scream. You are the most insufferable show-off I have ever met. Maybe. But I just took the last of the 3 great passes in one night, with minimal casualties, using poison smoke, exploding arrows, underground tunnels, and a 9-foot berserker. I think I've earned a cup of tea. Wang Bai and Fang Zhenghe were dragged in wearing nothing but their underwear, shaking like wet chihuahuas in a blizzard. Beautiful. Exactly how I wanted them. First order of business. Wang Dabiao ran and looking stressed. Commander, Pashan is going berserk. He's slaughtering prisoners. Those are perfectly good future laborers he's wasting. Send Eagle Eye to beat him unconscious. Done. Next problem. Fang Zhenghe tried to act tough. It lasted about 3 seconds because he was freezing so hard his teeth were doing a drum solo. LL Lu Yuan. If you kill me, Jiang Xin will massacre the capital. I ignored him completely and turned to Wang Bai. So, you want to join my team? Wang Bai hit the floor. Full kowtow. No hesitation. Yes, sir. For years I've maintained peace with Northern Liang. I sent multiple letters to the court telling them not to mess with you. But this idiot, he gestured at Fang Zhenghe, ruined everything. He'll go home and blame me for losing the fortress. I'll be executed for his stupidity. So I captured him as my entry ticket. And you can verify, my garrison didn't fight your troops tonight. I held them back on purpose. He had a point. My intelligence confirmed Wang Bai had been cooperative for years. No black marks. No sketchy behavior. Clean record. Fang Zhenghe exploded. You traitor. You'll be cursed for eternity. Cursed? Your court left Pashan rotting in a labor camp for years and nobody cared. You drove him insane. This government deserves nothing from me. Entertaining as this was, I needed to close the deal. I sipped my tea. Wang Bai, I'll give you one chance. Kill the noisy one. Wang Bai's eyes lit up with murderous joy. He turned toward Fang Zhenghe, like a wolf spotting a limping deer. Wang Bai, you can't. The emperor will destroy your entire family. Lu Yuan. I'm the prime minister. Killing me means war to the death with Great Jing. Wang Bai's the one doing the killing. Nothing to do with me. I lit a cigarette, took a drag, and snapped my fingers. Red Lady tossed a dagger at Wang Bai's feet. He snatched it up and lunged. First stab, straight into Fang Zhenghe's throat. Then he twisted the blade. A full clockwise rotation. Blood. Everywhere. Fang Zhenghe's body dropped. But his head stayed in Wang Bai's hand. Eyes still wide open. Mouth still moving, trying to say something. Probably, this isn't fair. Life isn't fair, Chancellor. You should have stayed home. Wang Bai knelt before me holding the head like a trophy. Fang Zhenghe is dead. Please inspect. Zhao Jinjia looked queasy. She's killed 132 people, but watching a decapitation at close range over tea is apparently where her comfort zone ends. Noted. I flicked ash off my cigarette. Wang Bai, you're smart, and I like smart people. But I like loyal people more. From now on, your name is Wang Zhongho. Wang Zhongho. Literally, Wang the loyal and honest. Because nothing says trustworthy like a man who just decapitated his own boss to save himself. Thank you for the new name, Great Master. Look, I'm not stupid. A man who betrays his own side the moment things go south will do it again if the wind changes. I'll use him, but I'll never trust him. One wrong move, and he joins Fang Zhenghe. In pieces. Send the Chancellor's head to the Jing capital. Tell the Emperor, withdraw from Great Xian, or I'll march to his palace and take his head next. I walked out of the tea house like I owned the place. which I did, because I just conquered it. Then I found my entertainment for the evening. Pashan and Eagle I were brawling in the prison yard. 9-foot rage monster versus my top combat officer. And Eagle I was winning. He had Pashan pinned on the ground, raining punches down like a thunderstorm. You want to kill prisoners? You want to disobey? I'll beat you until you learn. Pashan's face was a swollen watermelon. Half his teeth were scattered on the ground. Then Eagle Eye picked him up and slammed him into the earth so hard I felt the vibration through my boots. Pashan lay there gasping. Eagle Eye stood over him and said something surprisingly noble. I know these years were terrible for you. Bad food, bad sleep, rage eating you alive. So here's the deal. Anytime you feel like fighting, come challenge me. If you win, I'll call you Big Brother. I started clapping. Eagle Eye turned around, saw me, and instantly went from terrifying warrior to shy puppy. Oh, boss, when did you get here? Great work, Eagle Eye. He scratched his head and grinned. It's all because of your excellent training, sir. This guy? He's cross-eyed, kind of dumb, built like a tank, and has the emotional range of a golden retriever. He punches people through walls and then compliments me like a student thanking his teacher. He is my favorite human being on this planet. Zhao Jinzhao was staring at Eagle Eye with naked envy. She'd watched Pashan, the most terrifying warrior in the Jing Empire, get absolutely manhandled. And Eagle Eye didn't even break a sweat. She was thinking, if I could recruit just one of these monsters, restoring the Empire would be easy. Dream on, honey. They're mine. I looked down at Pashan, beaten into the dirt, wheezing. Done being crazy, he scrambled to his knees so fast he almost fell over again. Yes, sir. Completely done. Good. Go rest. Heal up. I still need you to fight for me. His eyes actually got misty. Thank you for your concern, great master. I told him to rest, and he acted like I'd given him a gift. This man spent 2 years eating flavorless paste in a dark box, and now a single sentence of mild kindness makes him emotional. There's a psychological term for this. Stockholm Syndrome. He's terrified of me, grateful to me, and loyal to me. All because I alternated between making his life hell and occasionally treating him like a person. Am I a good person? Debatable. Am I effective? Pashan just murdered 6 people with his bare hands on my behalf, and then thanked me for letting him rest. You tell me. Dawn broke over the smoldering ruins of the Great Jing Pass, and I had my damage report. Fewer than 10 soldiers killed. 10 out of 20,000. 200 minor injuries. Against a garrison of nearly 500,000. That's not a battle. That's a tutorial level. The poison smoke did most of the work. The exploding arrows cleaned up the rest. And my undercover agents in the tea house, Liu Su's people from Northern Liang Intelligence, were the real MVPs. I met with them privately. What rewards did I give them? None of Zhao Jinjia's business. She wasn't allowed in. State secrets, honey. Sorry. Let's go home, I said, feeling fantastic. The news hit Northern Liang like a party bomb. The great master conquered the Jing Pass with 20,000 men, killed 44,000, captured 300,000. The chancellor is dead. Turns out Great Jing's 300,000 army was actually maybe 200,000, and half of those were conscripted civilians. Classic number inflation. Every military in history does it. We have 1,000,000 soldiers. No, you don't. You have 400,000 soldiers and 600,000 guys holding sticks. Still, losing 1/5 of your entire national military in one night? That's not just painful. That's potentially empire-ending. My people went crazy with celebration. Long live the great master. Long live Northern Liang. Every citizen, every street, pure joy. To them, our army is invincible. And honestly, after tonight, I'm starting to believe my own hype. Over in Taishan County, Li Quniang, the former god of war, who I captured, heard the news and went silent. His buddy Qin Yuan said, 20,000 men took a fortress overnight? Did they fly over the walls again? They've been in my training program for months now. Learning modern tactics, modern discipline, modern everything. Li Quniang admitted he felt like a frog at the bottom of a well. Thought he knew warfare. Turns out he knew nothing. And when they finally got to touch actual firearms during live fire training, their brains short-circuited. With Northern Liang's weapons, numbers are meaningless, Li Quniang muttered. If the court keeps pushing, they're doomed. Smart man. Slow learner, but he got there. Now, while all of this was happening, The two funniest subplots in my household were developing without my knowledge. Subplot 1. Xia Ning and Li Wuyo, my two hostage princesses, were having a secret meeting. What do? Lu Yuan doesn't care about the capital hostages. He just killed the Jing chancellor. Li Wuyo was spiraling. He won't touch us. He won't marry us. I've been throwing myself at him for months, and he won't even look twice. I'm going to develop a complex. Then Xia Ning whispered, what if we drug him? Li Wuyo nearly fell off her chair. Are you insane? Listen, he won't come to us willingly. Red Lady searches us every time we get close. They test his food for poison. But I managed to steal some powder from the livestock farm. The livestock farm? It's animal medication. I scraped off a fingernail's worth. It should work on humans. Probably. Then the negotiation broke down because they couldn't agree on who goes first. Me first. No, me. I found the drugs. I'll snitch on you. You wouldn't. Try me. Two foreign princesses fighting over who gets to drug me with stolen veterinary medicine and take advantage of me first. This is my life. I built an empire, and this is what happens behind my back. Neither of them knows I have surveillance everywhere. Red Lady watches them like a hawk. Liusu's spies catch everything. These two couldn't successfully drug a goldfish, let alone me. But it's nice to feel wanted, I guess. Subplot 2. My two castrated barbarian princes, Wusun and Yexian, were having an existential crisis while mopping floors. It's been months. No word from the western barbarian homeland. It's 10,000 miles away. Messages take 6 months one way. A full year-round trip. And even if our main tribe agrees to help, how many warriors can they send? Through what route? Past what armies? Against Northern Liang? So we're eunuchs forever, better than dead. Everything's fine except I have to squat to pee and sometimes I leak. Same. These two were once princes of a barbarian empire. Now they're mopping my floors, squatting in bathrooms, and waiting for a rescue that's probably never coming. Sometimes I almost feel bad. Almost. Then the house manager announced my arrival, and everyone scrambled to line up. My entire household, servants, guards, former princes, aspiring drug dealers, all kneeling on both sides of the road. Welcome home, great master. I stepped off the carriage like a conquering hero returning from war, which I was. 3 major fortresses, Xia Pass, Northern Liang Pass, and now the Jing Pass, all under my control. 2 million citizens. An unbreakable defensive perimeter. Food independence by next year. The strongest army on the continent. And somewhere inside my house, 2 princesses were arguing about animal tranquilizers. 2 eunuchs were questioning their life choices. My mother was probably already cooking dinner. My daughter was definitely waiting to tackle hug me. And my not wife was pretending she wasn't impressed by anything she'd just witnessed. Just another day in Northern Liang. Home sweet home. I walked right past my 2 castrated barbarian prince janitors without even glancing at them. Sorry boys, got bigger things on my mind. Mom, I'm home. She immediately inspected me like I was a used car she was considering buying. Any injuries? Not a scratch. I patted Lingji's head. Why aren't you in class? My teacher was going to send us to build greenhouses at the second city, but you went to war last night, so everything got postponed. Lu Yong didn't even leave the city. Lu Yong was bouncing with excitement. Big bro, did you really take the fortress with just 20,000 men? Yep. Prisoners are parading through the streets right now. Go watch if you want. I was about to give them the play-by-play when Zhao Jianjia stepped off the carriage, and my entire family abandoned me mid-sentence to swarm her. Jianjia, are you okay? My big brother is so irresponsible, dragging you to a battlefield. You must be exhausted. Did you eat? Come inside. I made your favorites. Mom grabbed her arm and whisked her away like she was rescuing a princess from a dragon. The dragon being me. Mom, I'm also tired. She didn't even turn around. If Huan wasn't in kindergarten right now, at least she'd come hug me first. I shuffled inside behind them like a neglected puppy. Built an empire. Conquered 3 fortresses. Defeated 500,000 troops. Can't get my own mother to ask if I'm hungry.